去，all this Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
As chairman of the Nash County Board of Commissioners, I now call to order the March 2nd, 2026 meeting of the Nash County Board of Commissioners to order. We begin our meeting with a prayer and, invocation, and also with the Pledge of Allegiance. We welcome everyone to participate, and at this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Sue Leggett to give our invocation.
Thank you. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we give you thanks and praise for another day here on this earth to serve your kingdom. Lord, we ask for your presence today as we conduct the business of Nash County. Give these members wisdom and discernment to make decisions that are best for our citizens. Lord, in these times, we ask for strength and courage for our country, and also for you to put peace and love in the hearts of everyone around the world, especially those who need it most. We ask these things in your precious and holy name. Amen.
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 Would you join us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're on item number 4, the approval of the regular minutes of February the 2nd, 2026. Our special call meeting minutes of February the 4th, 2026. Our regular meeting minutes of February the 16th, 2026. You received those minutes, Commissioners. Are there any corrections?
Move for
Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
approval, sir.
Move of approval by Commissioner Davis.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilkins. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you. I need to announce that a public hearing on the rezoning request for the Williams Run subdivision on Strickland Road, Bailey, was previously announced and advertised to be held during today's meeting. But the applicant has asked that the public hearing be postponed to the board's next regular meeting on April 6, 2026. The surrounding property owners were notified of the postponement via email last week, but the public hearing will not be held today. Additionally, public notice will be mailed prior to the April 6 meeting date, and anyone with questions may contact the Planning and Inspection Department. Also, Commission, without objections, we are going to remove item number 20 on our agenda. Okay. We begin our meeting with public comments from citizens that wish to address the board with their concern and interest. So at this time, I'll ask Vice Chair Howard to read the guidelines for our public comment session.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Board of Commissioners shall provide a period for public comment at the regularly scheduled meeting monthly. The public comment period shall be placed on the agenda at its beginning in scheduled business. Each person desiring to speak during the public comment agenda item shall fill out a form at the time prior to the beginning of the Commissioners' meeting, which form shall identify the speaker by the name, address, and topic on which he or she wishes to speak. Each speaker shall be allowed to speak for 3 to 5 minutes with a visual notification of time running out at 4 minutes. The time limit shall be strictly observed unless otherwise extended at the discretion of the Board of Commissioners. The speaker shall address the Board of Commissioners, but no dialogue between the speaker and commissioners shall occur. Only the chairman or other designated presiding officers may be responding to the speaker, if at all, and then only to acknowledge to the speaker that the topic presented is received and is a matter of information by commissioners. Commissioners should not discuss the speaker's topic during the scheduled public comment agenda. The manager or his designee may be asked to follow up on complaints or requests for the informations. Speakers must make presentation from the podium and shall not otherwise physically approach the commissioners or any member of staff without express approval of the chairman or other designated presiding officers. Speakers shall address the entire board without reference to individual members. Speakers shall also conform to the reasonable standards of courtesy when they're addressing the commissioners. It shall be the responsibility of the chairman to inform the speakers when they do not conform to those standards. The chairman shall also entertain and rule on objections from other members of the board who take exception to the remarks of the speaker.
Thank you, Commissioner Vice Chair Howard. Our first citizen that signed up is Preston Jones. Oh, okay, all right. Come up to the, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. State your name,
Oh, my name is Peyton Jones.
I'm Carmen Richardson, and we're actually doing it together today. Good morning, everyone. My name is Carmen Richardson,
And my name is Peyton Jones.
and we are 11th graders at Nash Early College High School, and we both proudly represent the YMCA Teen Mental Health Advisory Council of North Carolina. We would just like to start off by thanking all of you, the Board of Commissioners, for allowing us to talk about the importance of teen mental health with you all today.
Good morning. Imagine being 16 years old, sitting in class, surrounded by people, but feeling completely alone. You're struggling in silence, and you don't know who to turn to. And when you finally decide you need help, there's no one available. That is the reality for millions of teens today, and suicide remains one of the top causes of death for high school students. Things including bullying, struggling with low income, social media comparison, anxiety, depression, and academic pressures are just a few examples of challenges teens face daily. According to the CDC, about 1 in 5, or about 20%, of high school students have seriously considered attempting suicide. Additionally, teens who have experienced bullying are twice as likely to experience symptoms of anxiety and depression than students who haven't. And lastly, about 22% of students have reported having no one to turn to at all, meaning that 1 in 5 students are dealing with stress, anxiety, or mental health challenges while having no one to confide in.
One solution that we would like to offer you all today is to implement funding for community-wide awareness campaigns that reduce stigma and educate families about warning signs, crisis resources, and where to seek support that they may not already have. This would encourage not only teens, but also the family members to reach out for support that they might not have access to. And we want to urge the Nash County Commissioners to consider the importance of mental health and the students of our high schools. We want to encourage you to take action with us by funding and advocating for mental health resources across our community. And together, we can ensure that every student has access to the support they need. Thank you so much for your time and consideration today.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now I have Amy Person. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm Amy Pearson from 6127 Strickland Road, can't even say my road today, Strickland Road in Bailey, and like many people across Nash County, I've spent my career as an entrepreneur making difficult decisions about what is best for the businesses that I own and manage. Those decisions are often not easy, and I understand that your job is the very same here. In recent years, I've attended your board meetings. I've worked on community efforts through the Bailey Chamber of Commerce, the transition of the Country Doctors Museum, and talked to neighbors about what's most important to them and what they feel Nash County's future looks like. Through those experiences, I have learned something clear. Our community needs more involvement in the business of our county. While it may be out of reach for us to be heard at the state and federal levels, we can and should be heard right here at our county level. Today, I want to speak about the jail project. I'm deeply concerned that we're preparing to spend tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer money, and in the end, my understanding is that we only gained 6 beds. 6 additional beds are not enough for today. With the growth coming in Nash County, that's certainly not enough for tomorrow, and certainly not enough for 10 to 15 years. So I ask respectfully, why are we not planning for the future? We all know that Nash County is growing. We see subdivisions in the size of small towns being built now, infrastructure being discussed about the water lines, emergency service challenges, school population concerns, and fast population increasing across our communities. Growth is coming, whether we like it or not, and so are the challenges that are coming with it. If we're spending $20 to $30 million, we should certainly be solving a 20-year problem, not creating another one. In 2020, WRAL reported that about 100 inmates had to be housed outside our county because of hazardous jail conditions and needed upgrades. That cost taxpayers money every single day. Transportation costs, staffing costs, per diem payments to other counties. That money's leaving Nash County. Should be staying here fixing Nash County. Remodeling the jail without enough capacity is like building a home for 3 generations, but only planning for today. You start with mom, dad, and 3 children in a 4-bedroom house. Then life happens. Children grow up. They bring their spouses. They bring the grandchildren. And suddenly the house is too small. You either crowd all those people in there, or you have to spend more money and fix the problem. That's exactly what we risk doing here. If we spend millions now, but add only a handful of beds, taxpayers will soon be asked to spend more money again, and while still paying the housing the inmates in other counties. Nash County deserves better planning than that. I would also like to see us use resources that we already have. I go by the Nash County Highway 97 empty shell building often and think, what could we do with that? Well, we've outgrown the Nashville footprint, so my suggestion as a county citizen would be, let's use that. I know the need for space is real. I have personally sold storage units to the Sheriff's Department. Employees from emergency services have contacted me about renting buildings for equipment storage that I have. We clearly need room for 911 operations, sheriff storage, and emergency services, along with our jail needs. That is why I'm asking for a pause, a full evaluation of all options, and meaningful community input. Nash County is full of smart, capable people who are deeply concerned about our future and willing to help, even if they didn't run for office. Let's also listen carefully to our sheriff and department leaders who deal with these challenges every single day, and they understand what it is to be on the ground. None of this is about personalities. It's not about process. It is about process. It is about transparency and doing what is right for the Nash County taxpayers. This subject won't die. It's only going to get stronger. EMS needed changes. Citizens came out and spoke about changes, and things happen. Please slow down. Share the information openly, and I emphasize openly. Evaluate long-term solutions and plan for Nash County. We all know it's coming. I believe our county needs a forward-looking solution, possibly a new public service campus that truly prepares us for the future. I leave you with this, Romans 12:21. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Thank you so much for your time and service, each and every one of you. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, thank you. Okay, is there anyone else wishing to speak to the board that didn't sign up? Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get in here and sign up. I was trying to find a parking spot, and I could not find one. It held me up a little bit. My name is Joseph Bailey, 8938 Grand Brantley Road, Bailey, North Carolina. Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I'm here not only to speak, but to formally submit a community petition signed by residents requesting a public safety capacity assessment and consideration of a temporary pause on major residential developments while the Unified Development Ordinance is being revised. As of this morning, this petition includes 239 verified North Carolina signatures, the majority from residents of Nash County, and we are continuing to gather additional support. I respectfully ask this petition be entered into the official record. While the previously scheduled subdivision has been withdrawn, there are indications that multiple development proposals may return in the near future. That makes this conversation even more important because the questions being raised are about cumulative impact and long-term planning, not a single project. Nash County is currently revising its Unified Development Ordinance, the rules that guide how development happens and where it happens. That revision exists for a reason. If we're reviewing and updating those standards, then we must acknowledge that improvements are needed. Taking time to pause major approvals during this process gives the board opportunity to ensure the updated UDO reflects the changes and protections our community is asking for. If we revise it without meaningful adjustment, then why revise it at all? This is an opportunity to get it right, not to just rewrite it. As farmers, we do not plant a field without first taking soil samples and applying the proper nutrients. If we skip that step, we might get something to grow, but we risk poor long-term results and wasted resources. Responsible growth in our county deserves that same level of preparation. Nash County has deep agricultural roots. Agriculture supports local families, preserves open space, and sustains a way of life that has defined this county for generations. Once farmland is paved over, it cannot be recovered. Public safety is one of the most important pieces of this conversation. When development increases, so does demand on EMS, fire departments, law enforcement, inspections, and 911 communications. If growth expands faster than staffing, equipment, and station coverage can grow, response times can increase. And when someone calls 911, seconds are statistics. Seconds are lives. For that reason, residents believe it reasonable and increasingly urgent to conduct a formal public safety capacity assessment before approving multiple large-scale residential developments. We need to ensure that our emergency services are not only keeping up today, but will be able to keep up with future residents as growth continues. In addition, I am continuing to gather input from first responders and school system representatives so that future discussions are informed by those working with our emergency services and education systems. Hold on, These decisions affect more than land, they affect operational capacity across the county. Taking time to plan does not put lives at risk, pausing development does not endanger residents, but allowing growth to outpace emergency services can. Housing development has moved quickly in recent years while many public safety resources have not grown at the same pace. Careful planning ensures that when new families arrive, the services meant to protect them are ready. Infrastructure is also being pushed to its limits. Water systems, sewer capacity, roads, schools, and public services cannot expand overnight. When development moves faster than those systems can support, the long-term financial burden often falls on taxpayers. This is why a temporary pause during the UDO revision process deserves consideration. Taking time to evaluate cumulative farmland loss, conduct public safety assessments, and ensure infrastructure readiness provides clarity for everyone. Residents, developers, and the county itself. This is not about stopping growth, this is about getting growth right. The decisions made during this period will shape what Nash County looks like for decades. I want future generations, not just my family, but all families to have the opportunity to work the land, build their lives, and experience the same sense of home that so many of us value today. I just want to make
Bailey,
sure.
you have 1 minute left.
Okay.
That's time, Mr. Chair.
Well, I just got a little
All right.
bit, I just got just a little bit left if I could be allowed to finish it. I mean, it's like 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Thank you. I want future generations well, I think I done said that part. This is the end of it. I just want to make sure Nash County still feels like home for the families who live here now and for those who will come after us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service to this county. God bless Nash County, the state of North Carolina, and God bless America.
All right, thank
And
you.
can I give this to, okay?
Yeah.
And this is everything, my comments and the signatures. And I will email each one of y'all a copy of that. I
right.
sure appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we will now move to item number 6, annual State of the County Address. This year, the format for our annual State of the County Address is a video, and it covers some of our major projects from 2025. And I want to thank Commissioner Wayne Outlaw, who was chairperson during 2025, but I'm doing the presentation. We appreciate all the hard work you did, Commissioner Outlaw.
Thank you, sir.
Our staff have done many things to help our citizens in Nash County during 2025. A lot of things that you don't see, the small things that the Social Service Department employees do. EMS employees, the things that they do, the small things that won't be on this video. Our Sheriff Department, and many others that work very hard to make sure that the citizens in Nash County receive what we can in order for us to have a safe and enjoyable life here that we enjoy throughout Nash County. I want to thank Jonathan for his work on this video, and at this time, we will present the video. Thank you. Hello, I'm Marvin Arrington, Chairman of the Nash County Board of Commissioners, and it's my honor to present the annual State of the County Address. As we look back at 2025, Nash County focused on expanding economic opportunities, enhancing county services, and planning thoughtfully for the future of our growing communities, from advancing public safety and capital improvements to strengthening health and human services. We continue positioning Nash County for long-term success. This progress reflects the dedication of our employees, the leadership of our board, and the shared commitment of our community. In 2025, Nash County made significant investments in the facilities and infrastructure that enhance quality of life. We celebrated the groundbreaking of the Nash County Senior Center expansion, a 6,700 square foot addition that will include fitness space, classrooms, and a game room. Design work began to transform the former Fellowship Church into the new Nash County Recreation Center. Renovations are underway to consolidate the county's health department services into one centralized location on the UNC Nash Hospital campus. Restoration began on the exterior of the historic Nash County Courthouse, which will be completed in 2026. Phase 2 of the Northern Nash Water System is nearing completion, adding 19 miles of water lines and wells to strengthen our water supply. Phase 2 of the Miracle Park was completed, adding an event stage and walking path, and land acquisition and designs were finalized for the new Southern Nash Middle School. Work was also completed on the Northern Nash High School Fieldhouse, which was ready just in time for the 2025 football season. Nash County strengthened public safety through investments in technology, staffing, and emergency preparedness. Emergency Management acquired Starlink satellite internet to ensure communications during emergencies and received a drone from the Gary Sinise Foundation to assist with fire investigations and search and rescue operations. In 911 communications, all call handling equipment was replaced and radio antenna equipment was upgraded to sync signals across the county. EMS 911 and Emergency Management began developing a new strategic plan to meet future growth and service demands. The Nash County Sheriff's Office reported a strong year of progress. All sworn position vacancies were filled through aggressive recruitment and a competitive pay and rank structure. The School Resource Officer Program continues to expand, with plans underway to assign a full-time officer in every elementary school. Through proactive enforcement efforts, deputies seized more than 100 firearms and significant quantities of fentanyl, cocaine, and other illegal narcotics. The Sheriff's Office also continues its commitment to community outreach initiatives throughout the year, reinforcing its role not only in enforcement but also in service to the community. In 2025, Nash County strengthened health and human services through outreach, partnerships, and strong performance. The Health Department earned accreditation in 2025. Staff supported families through educational and outreach programs, including hosting 2 community baby showers. Environmental Health launched a new web portal that will make it easier for citizens to find the current grade of local restaurants and view any violations. The Department of Social Services hosted its first community resource fair and maintained high performance across key programs, including child welfare, food and nutrition services, Medicaid, Work First, and child support. Veterans Services assisted more than 700 veterans in assessing benefits and resources and hosted their first Veterans Day service. The office also expanded outreach through partnerships, including local shelters, churches, and nonprofit organizations, providing support for veterans in need and honoring their service. Nash County hosted our first Wellness and Recovery Fair, including the Opioid Settlement Annual Meeting to share progress and strengthen prevention, treatment, and recovery efforts. We've come a long way at the Pet Connection Center. We have strengthened our protocols and partnerships with advocacy groups like PAW NC. We also added new positions and expanded Saturday adoption opportunities to make it easier for residents to adopt available dogs and cats at the facility. 2025 marked another year of steady economic progress. The county welcomed 120 new jobs and $45.5 million in capital investment, driven largely by expansion of existing industries, including Crump Naturals, Braswell Family Farms, UNC Health Nash, and Eaton. The project pipeline remains strong, with more than 83 active projects representing the potential for over 15,000 jobs and $12 billion in capital investment. To support the continued growth, Nash County invested in infrastructure and site readiness, including a shell building at the Nashville Business Center and improvements at the Middlesex Corporate Center. These strategic investments position Nash County for continued economic growth as we move into 2026. In closing, 2025 was a year of meaningful progress. Many of the projects mentioned today were supported in part by more than $4 million in grant funding secured by Nash County in 2025. The work accomplished reflects the dedication of our communities, our leaders, and our county employees. Nash County is presently financially stable, and this will allow us to meet the future challenges. Before we conclude, let's meet the other members of the Nash County Board of Commissioners.
I'm Commissioner Fred Belfield. Thank you to the residents of District 2. Together, we have moved Nash County forward.
I'm Vice Chair Freddie Howell. Thank you to residents of District 3. Together, we can move Nash County forward.
I'm Commissioner Sue Leggett. Thank you to the residents of District 4. We are moving Nash County forward.
I'm Commissioner Wayne Outlaw. Thank you to the residents of District 5. Together we move Nash County forward.
I'm Commissioner Gwen Wilkins. Thank you to the residents of District 6. Together, we move Nash County forward.
I am Robbie B. Davis. Thank you to the residents of District 7. We are moving Nash County forward on your behalf.
I am Chairman Marvin Arrington. Thank you to the residents of District 1 and everyone who call Nash County home. Together, we have strengthened our communities and will continue building on this momentum in the years ahead. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners and our staff, thank you for your continued support. We look forward to the opportunities that 2026 will bring. Thank you very much. Any commissioner like to make additional comments? Okay. Seeing none, again, we thank the staff for everything that they have done, and continually we will support our staff and move the citizens, and everything we do hopefully will be progressive for Nash County citizens. We will now move to item number 7. Good morning.
Good morning. I'd like to introduce Mr. Hunter Wiseman from Thompson Price Scott Adams, CPA, for the presentation of the fiscal year 25 audit.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Board. As Ms. Stanton mentioned, my name is Hunter Wiseman with Thompson Price Scott Adams, and it's my pleasure to present Nash County's fiscal year 2025 audit results. In front of you, you should have a black packet, which is our presentation summary. If you will, open that to the table of contents. We're going to start by covering our AUC 260 letter, which is a letter to governance. Then we're going to cover the audit results, and at the end, we'll have an opportunity for any questions and comments before the close. If you will now, turn with me to page 1. To begin, it notes that we've completed our audit for fiscal year June 30th, 2025 for Nash County in accordance with government auditing standards and uniform guidance, as was communicated in our letter dated April 23rd, 2025. Going down now to our responsibility in relation to the financial statement audit, we believe that we have covered that management's oversight is presented fairly in all material respects and in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States. Jumping down now to significant risks identified, I do like to note that both this management override of controls risk as well as the improper revenue recognition risk on the next page are present in every audit. They are not specific to Nash County, but we do mention them. Going now to page 2. Under significant accounting policies, I do want to note that the county adopted GASB Statement 101, compensated absences in the current year, which changed the treatment for sick leave. Going to significant accounting estimates. Significant estimates for the county are allowance for doubtful accounts, compensated absences, and depreciation and accumulated depreciation. Financial statement disclosures that I want to draw your attention to also include GASB Statement 101, which is discussed in Note 8 of the full audit report. We're proud to report that there were no significant difficulties when dealing with management and performing and completing our audit, and also that we are not aware of any uncorrected material misstatements in the financial statements, as well as no disagreements with management in terms of any opinions that we issued. Going now to page 3, we note that the representation letter was dated February 12th, 2026, and that we are not aware of any consultation with other independent auditors during the course of the audit. For other audit findings and issues, I do want to note that the Local Government Commission, or LGC, will no longer initiate a communication with the board, but they do identify items which they consider to be financial performance indicators of concern, or FPICs for short. There are 2 items for which the board will need to respond, and you will have 60 days after the presentation of these audit results to respond to them. These relate to finding 2025-001, as described in the audit report, and the Water and Sewer Fund operating loss. For other matters, we do not audit the information provided by the actuaries for the local government employees retirement system, for the Register of Deeds, for the other post-employment benefits, or for LEOSA. Going now to page 4. I do want to draw your attention to the implementation of GASB Statement Number 103, Financial Reporting Model Improvements, which will be implemented for fiscal year 2026. It can take a significant amount of time and resources to properly implement, and will change the treatment of the management discussion and analysis, some of the required supplementary information in the audit report, as well as the presentation of various items in the notes. Lastly, for restriction on use, this information is intended solely for the use of the Board of Commissioners and management of Nash County, and is not intended to be and should not be used by anyone other than the specified parties. If you will now flip with me to page 5. You'll see the presentation of financial information for 5 fiscal years, beginning in 2025 all the way back to fiscal year 2021. Following this summary of information, there's also going to be charts, so I'm going to be focusing on fiscal year 2025 as we go through this. Total fund balance for the general fund was $73.1 million, with unavailable fund balance, either non-spendable or restricted by state statute, of $11.1 million. Available fund balance, therefore, was $61.9 million, and restricted other than RSS, committed, and assigned fund balance totaled $24.6 million, leaving unassigned fund balance of $37.2 million, which is up slightly from fiscal year 25 at $36.2. General fund expenditures, when including transfers out and excluding less loan proceeds or lease proceeds, were $127.1 million. Fund balance available as a percentage of these expenditures was 48.73%, or as unassigned as a percentage of general fund expenditures, 29.33%, both of which are up from the previous year. Revenues over and under expenditures before considering transfers and contributions for the general fund were $15.5 million, the Water and Sewer Fund $144,000, and the Solid Waste Fund $133,000. Enterprise fund net position versus cash for the water and sewer funds were $22.3 million. Restricted net position was $203,000. Unrestricted net position of $1.4 million left a total net position of $23.9 million versus cash of $2.1 million. The solid waste fund, which includes the expansion project, had net investment in capital assets of $2.1 million. Unrestricted net position of $1 million for a total net position of $3.1 million, and cash of $4.1 million. The property tax rate was 0.63, a collection percentage of 98.58%, and when excluding motor vehicles, 98.39%. Please flip to page 6. Total property valuation was $12.1 billion, and total levy amount was $76.3 million. As a breakdown of general fund revenues, the largest sources of revenue are ad valorem taxes at $75.9 million, other taxes and licenses at $24.8 million, and intergovernmental revenues of $18.7 million, for total revenues in the general fund of $133.8 million. General fund expenditures consisted largely of public safety at $36.1 million, human services at $27.7 million, and education at $25.9 million, for total expenditures of $118.5 million. The government-wide net position, which comes from Exhibit 1 of the statements, was $112.7 million, which is a net position increase of $38.6 million from the previous year. Please now flip to page 7. This begins our summary of charts. As I mentioned, the same information that's contained in these charts was presented in the summary of information previously, but it's a little bit easier to see the trend over the 5 years. As you can see with the analysis of fund balance for the general fund, total fund balance has increased in 2025 and is at its highest level. Available fund balance has also increased, as well as unassigned fund balance, though slightly from fiscal year 2024. Going down now to the lower chart, analysis of fund balance available and unassigned general fund expenditures as a percentage of expenditures. Your available fund balance increased to 48.73% from 40.07% in the previous year and is at its highest level. This outpaces the group weighted average for North Carolina counties with general fund expenditures of less than $100 million at 43.81%. I do like to note here that that information will always be a year trailing. The state will take these audit reports, compile them, and then provide us the number for the next year.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
pardon the interruption, but is there a reason the public can't see all this? Can we not put it on there, or is that unacceptable? Staff?
I can put it on the overhead.
And I apologize to the public for just bringing this up, but I mean, there's nothing to hide. Why can't they see the actual charts?
Is there anything that you would like me to recover, ma'am?
No. If you could start from here, and if it's okay with the
Yes, ma'am.
chairman, if the public has questions on what was put forth previously, I'm sure the staff could provide it for them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I know, you know, in the beginning, he wrote, this information is intended solely for the use of the Board of Commissioners and management of Nash County, and it is not intended to be and should not be used by anyone other than these specific parties.
Mr. Chairman.
That's the restriction that the auditor censored.
And of course, this is public information, and the public does have the ability as well, once the audit report is approved by the LGC, to view the full audit report online when it's posted. We mostly include that because we don't want anyone to make an opinion or a determination based off of the information solely from the presentation summary itself. This is just pulling out some specific references from the full audit report.
And that was my question. I asked, is there any reason they shouldn't? So thank you for that clarification, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
I was going to question his earlier statement, but he just answered it for me. I was wondering why he made that statement. Now I do understand it's a temporary statement until such time.
Yes, sir.
as this board approves it and the LGC approves it.
Yes, sir. And in fact, I have a copy of the draft audit report here, but because it still contains the draft watermark, the LGC has not actually approved the audit yet. It's still in the process of being reviewed.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So when will it be available to the public?
I do not know the LGC's timeline, but usually it
But
takes them
after the
about a month.
LGC?
It takes them about a month to get through the review process.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman? Just one question. When will the Board of Commissioners have access to the full audit?
As soon as we receive confirmation from the LGC that the audit report's been approved, we'll notify the finance staff and also send them a copy without the draft watermark. That's when it's eligible to be posted online, and it can be disseminated to the public as well.
And when are we proposed to be voting to approve this or accept it?
I have to ask staff on that.
I mean, you all can vote to approve the draft today.
Yes. I will note, we don't expect that there will be any changes to the audit report, but the LGC does still have to go through it, make sure that we've presented all the disclosures that are required.
The draft report is in the public packet.
Yes, they just should not make they should not make any kind of determination based off of a draft opinion.
But the information is provided in the public packet.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if it's provided in the public packet, why can't we put it on the screen now?
As far as the full audit report or the presentation?
Well, what you're giving us is in the public packet, the attorney said.
The full audit report.
The full audit report is in the public packet.
Okay.
This information is not, the summary is not in the public
Okay.
packet. I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize for the interruption.
Okay. I think we were on page 8.
Yes, sir. Do you want to wait on the presentation summary? I see you're still working on.
I think we're just going to proceed.
Okay. Okay. So going now to page 8, for the collection percentages, we did note a dip to 98.58% from the previous year for Nash County, and that does trail North Carolina counties at 99.42% in the same group weighted average. And as I mentioned, that year will always be trailing. As a breakdown of general fund revenues, as noted earlier, ad valorem taxes are the largest percentage of revenues at 56.75%, followed by other taxes and licenses at 18.55%, and intergovernmental revenues at 14.01%. Going down now to the breakdown of general fund expenditures. Largest source of expenditures is public safety at 30.5%, human services at 23.45%, and education at 21.91%. Going now to page 10, for additional required communications, as I touched on in the letter to governance, the LGC no longer initiates communication, but it does require that the board respond within 60 days of the presentation to the following items. Finding 2025-001, reconciliation of records and reviewing records and testing certain account balances. We noted several accounts were not reconciled and adjusted timely to include cash, receivables, payables, and other balance sheet accounts. And then an LGC financial performance indicator of concern, the water and sewer fund net loss, operating net income excluding depreciation and including debt service principal and interest was a net loss of $59,000. I do like to note here that the LGC's calculation for determining the net loss is different than the calculation presented on the financial statements. The LGC specifically notes that they include debt service in terms of calculating that, whereas in the financial statements, debt service would be excluded from calculating an operating loss or income. And that concludes the information contained in the presentation summary. Are there any questions?
Yes. Mr. Chairman. All right.
Okay, Commissioner Belfield.
Which is the most important, procedure or the accounts?
The most important procedure for?
I said, which is the most important, the procedure you use or the account?
I would say that in terms of our most important procedure, our testing that we do when we come on site or when we do remote testing, we're reviewing backup, we're asking specific items from the finance department to be able to confirm balances, to confirm payments and correct information.
How often should the county reconcile its account?
I would say that accounts should be getting reconciled at least as a part of a monthly closeout process. Typically, you'll reconcile your balances at the beginning of the next month for the previous month, once you have all the information. Now, there are some items that you can't reconcile until you are at the end of the fiscal year, specifically when you're relating to accounts receivable or accounts payable. Sometimes those are difficult to determine, and also the county may set a timeline, say 45 or 60 days, that they keep that open to continue evaluating if there's going to be receivables or payables. There's also distributions from the state, which you won't know about until subsequent to June 30th, that you can't record until you get that information. But typically that trails by either 60 to 90 days for the largest distributions from the state.
So doing it at the end of each month is not recommended, is that correct?
I would reconcile, there are certain accounts that you should be reconciling at the end of each month, namely cash. Your cash reconciliations for your bank account should be completed at least within 1 to 2 weeks of the end of the preceding month.
Yeah, well, that's what I have in my mind, that we ought to do it each month.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions, Commissioner Davis?
I don't really have a question. I have an observation that concerns me somewhat. In many years past, it was ideal for Nash County and all counties to have the three major expenditure items to be somewhat in alignment, meaning about the same percentage points, that being education, human services, and public safety. Over the last 3 or 4 years, ours has shifted significantly, whereas this year it's more significant difference than ever. Public safety is getting 31.5%, education only getting 22.9%, and human services 23.45%. I'd just like for staff to continue to see why that is. It's apparent to me that we may well be underfunding education. I'm not saying we're overfunding public safety, but I'm sure saying there's a significant difference in the blend that we've had for many years. And you may can comment on that, but I wouldn't ask you to do that on the fly. But it's something that is concerning to me.
My comment would be that while we don't evaluate as far as the county's expenditures in terms of a percentage breakdown for each function, I would say that there are various items that can go into why one function may have a considerable amount more of expenditures than in previous years, especially if there are projects related to that. Now, specifically with this breakdown is concerning the general fund, whereas other capital projects that the county is doing would be excluded from these numbers specifically, but they are reported in the full audit report.
Right. And you said debt service was not reported in any of this anyway.
Right. Debt service, for example, is one of the items. If you look at page 5, you can note that the water and sewer funds have revenues over and under expenditures before that consideration of transfers and contributions of $144,000. The LGC, however, considers debt services to be part of the operations of the water and sewer fund, and therefore that's what drops it to a loss for their purposes. So there are items that are considered when you're looking at the different numbers and you're looking at different places in the financial statements where you're going to pull that information from. So we just try to give a general picture of how the county is performing and where your money went.
And the water and sewer fund doesn't surprise me at all. In fact, I think our staff has done a great job to maintain it as less of a loss as it is, simply because we are a growing system and we have a relatively small customer base for the size of the county we are. And hopefully over the years it will get in better shape, and some things are happening that will show it in better shape moving forward.
Correct. And while the LGC's number does have to be responded to,
sure.
Personally, in my opinion, I most focus on the cash flow statement, which I believe is Exhibit 8 in the full audit report.
Yes, sir.
And I look at operating income and loss based off of the cash flow statement to see how actually the operations are performing. The LGC's calculation is specifically for the item that they're concerned about.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Any other commissioner questions? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for your time.
Okay, we will now go to item 8. Mr. Tice.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is the first of 4 rezoning public hearings that the board has on the agenda this morning. We're going to begin with a general rezoning, which means there is not the opportunity to attach conditions to an approval of this request. The subject property is about 110 acres that are undeveloped, located on the south side of Old Lewis School Road, Middlesex, in southern Nash County and just north of the Wilson County line. This property will look familiar to the board because in October 2025, it was rezoned from R40 to RA30CZ, single-family residential conditional zone, for the proposed development of the 90-lot Old Lewis School Road residential subdivision. You see that rezoning portrayed in the zoning map on the right-hand side of the screen with that lighter green color. Just to jog your memory, what was unique about this subdivision was the proposal for an on-site wastewater treatment package plant up in the northwest corner of that property. Since the time that that property was rezoned, it has been subsequently acquired by the Derrick and Matthew Bissett Farm Partnership, which does not intend to pursue the previously approved development plan. And so the new owner has submitted this general rezoning request to rezone the subject property back to the R40 single-family residential zoning district, essentially to undo the rezoning that was done back in October and to return this to a uniform R40 zoning district so that it matches the property around it. We are always consulting our comprehensive land use plan when we make a rezoning decision. This request would be consistent with the recommendations of the plan because the plan designates the property partially as residential agricultural area. Those are the green portions that you see on the screen before you, and also partially as water protection natural resources area, the dark blue area on the map. The plan does not specifically comment on the voluntary downzoning or the reduction of a property's permitted residential density, which this is, within that residential agricultural area, but the continued zoning classification of the property as residential would be consistent with the plan. And finally, the larger minimum lot area requirement of the proposed R40 zoning district, which would be at least 40,000 square feet, is consistent with the plan's recommendations for the environmentally sensitive water protection natural resources area. When we consider spot zoning, this of course would not be considered spot zoning. It may be considered reasonable and in the public interest because the proposed R40 zoning district would be the same as the existing large R40 zoning district that currently surrounds the subject property and is shown in the dark green color. The Technical Review Committee considered this request back on January 29th and recommended approval. The Planning Board considered this request on February 16th. Nancy Westbrake with the Nashville Graphic addressed the board at that meeting with questions regarding the applicant's intended future use of the subject property and whether the applicant owned other farmland nearby. No other members of the public addressed the board with regard to the request at that meeting. Mr. Derrick Bissett addressed the board on behalf of the applicant and in support of the request, and the planning board ultimately voted unanimously to recommend approval. The board has a suggested motion to approve the rezoning and a suggested motion to deny the rezoning. And I would remind you once again that because this is a general rezoning, there are no conditions, but there will need to be a statement of plan consistency and reasonableness attached to the board's decision. And you also have draft versions of those with each motion to either approve or deny. With that, I will pause and take any questions from the board prior to opening the public hearing.
Any question? Seeing none, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins, second by Commissioner Howard. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We are now into our public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this subject? Anyone wishing to speak on this subject? Seeing none?
I'm actually glad, or let me state my
Yes,
name and everything.
State your name.
Joseph Bailey, 8938 Grand Brentley Road, Bailey, North Carolina. I'm actually glad to see it to be brought up to R40. I was just going to say that I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but actually in the southernmost part of that piece of land, there's some gravestones out there. I didn't know if anybody was made aware. I just was going to add that for the record. But other than that, that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you.
So maybe that should be, maybe somebody out there, I don't know how y'all do that, but maybe it needs to be put, on something just to let people know.
Okay. Anyone else? Seeing no one, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All right, moved by Commissioner Leggett and second by Commissioner Wilkin. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Yeah.
Aye, motion carried. We are back into our regular meetings, okay? Mr. Tyson?
I have nothing to add.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt the statement of plan, consistency, and reasonableness, and to either approve or deny the rezoning map amendment?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion. I move that Nash County Board of Commissioners adopt the statement of plan, consistency, and reasonableness below and approve the general rezoning request ZZ 260-201 to rezone the subject property back to R40, single-family residential.
All right, motion by Commissioner Howard, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett. Any discussion on the motion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Davis.
in all my years serving on this board, I don't think I've ever seen one take this particular route of a group of people buying it after a developer had it and downzoning it like this happened. This is very impressive that this group chose to do this, and actually it's the way it should be done, that the owner of the property get it zoned like they want it. But it's just, I think with what we got going on in Nash County and the farmland converting to development land, to me, it should be a signal for all of our landowners, particularly those in the agricultural field, to really take note of, before they put their land up for sale, that as long as you own the land, you can control how it's zoned. Once you sell it, it's a little bit hard to control it anymore, but these people, and I know the names, but I don't know them personally, were serious enough about it to purchase it and move it back like they have it here, which is R40, larger lots, and I just hope it's kind of a flag to people that own agricultural land is to keep it, best way to keep it like it is not sell the land. It's just a lot easier to do it that way. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, any further discussion on the motion? Commissioner Belfield?
My question would be, do you know what will be done with this 110 acres? Is it going to be housing development or?
I don't believe there's a housing development proposed. In speaking with the applicant and the new owner, I believe there's a possibility that this land, some of it may be divided up and sold to adjacent property owners, but there is no development plan, at least for a residential subdivision, in mind at this time.
Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we will now move to item number 9.
The next public hearing, this is a conditional rezoning request. This was one that was scheduled for the board's February 2nd meeting. However, of course, you'll recall that meeting was delayed until later in the month due to winter weather. But once that second meeting date was announced, there was insufficient time to re-advertise this public hearing. So it has been bumped to today's agenda. The subject property is this rectangular area, approximately 2 acres. It's a portion of a larger 50-plus acre tract of land. It's owned by William Holt Ward, located on the north side of NC Highway 4 Battleboro in northeast Nash County. This site is just east of Gold Rock, so Gold Rock would be off to the upper left if you followed Highway 4 in that direction. And of course, that's a satellite annexation of the city of Rocky Mount, with the city of Rocky Mount proper being off to the east of the map that you have here. The front portion of the property you see on the zoning map is shaded red, indicating that it is located in the GC, General Commercial Zoning District, and the rear portion of that rectangle is shaded green, indicating that it's located in the R30, Single and Two-Family Residential Zoning District. This subject property up toward the front includes an existing well and septic system. It was previously utilized by a single-wide manufactured home, which you can see under this dot right here, this address point that was located on the immediately adjacent parcel. That home was addressed as 7890 NC Highway 4. That single-wide mobile home was classified as a non-conforming land use because it was conforming with the county's rules when it was placed there, but the zoning changed over time, and single-wide mobile homes are not permitted in this red GC General Commercial District, so it became non-conforming. That home has been removed within the last year, and now the owners of the subject property, which is immediately adjacent inside the red boundary, wish to set up a single-wide mobile home there that would utilize the same existing well and septic system that served the old single-wide mobile home. However, our UDO requirements prohibit that for a couple reasons, or three reasons actually. Number one, as I just stated, a Class B single-wide manufactured home is not a land use permitted in either the GC or the R30 zoning districts, so either the red or the green that currently covers the subject property. Number two, because that previous single-wide manufactured home was a non-conforming land use and it was removed for more than 180 days, it is not eligible for replacement with another single-wide manufactured home. And number three, the owners of the subject property intend to replace the single-wide manufactured home not in the same location on the adjacent property, but this time on the subject property inside the red boundary where the actually existing well and septic system is located. And moving a non-conforming use onto another property is also prohibited by the Unified Development Ordinance. Therefore, the property owner has submitted this conditional rezoning request. It would rezone the subject property from that mixture of commercial and residential to an A1CZ agricultural conditional zone. And that's because the A1 zoning district is the only zoning district that still permits the setup of a single-wide manufactured home. The proposed site plan that you see shows the old single-wide that has since been removed from the property, which was outside the red boundary of the subject property. You see the existing well and septic system. The well is indicated in the front of the lot and the septic system in the back. This is the proposed single-wide mobile home, and you see that it is oriented inside these white dashed lines which indicate the minimum building setback distances. This is a conditional rezoning, so again, it allows for the attachment of reasonable site-specific development conditions with the consent of the applicant. When we consult the comprehensive land use plan, this request is not necessarily consistent with the recommendations of the plan. What we see on here, this purple color, is not something we run into often on the future land use map, but this is a major employment industrial area which extends out from the industrial development, commercial and industrial development at the Gold Rock exit to the west. There's also some dark blue water protection natural resource area that impacts the rear of the property, which is not really relevant for this particular plan, but that's due to the presence of Swift Creek and the related wetlands to the north. The plan recommends that in this purple major employment industrial area, residential development should be restricted in order to ensure that it does not limit the land's potential future development for major industrial uses, wholesale, office, and public institutional uses, and limited commercial uses, which may serve as important employment centers. The current plan also upholds zoning policy adopted by Nash County 20 years ago as a result of the previous 2006 land development plan, which was intended to phase out the presence of single-wide manufactured homes in all zoning districts except the A1 zone, which is what is requested here. This request may be considered unreasonable spot zoning, because if we return to the zoning map, the request is limited to a relatively small area, only 2 acres, owned by a single landowner, and approval of the request would permit the landowner to set up a single-wide manufactured home on the subject property, which is not allowed on the surrounding properties unless there's already one there that was placed there prior to the zoning changes. However, this request could be considered reasonable spot zoning because there was recently a single-wide manufactured home located on that immediately adjacent property, the one I showed you in the previous site plan that has been removed from right beside the property. And there is still a single-wide manufactured home located on the rear of that adjacent property here at 8036 NC Highway 4. And as mentioned multiple times, this subject property does include an existing viable residential on-site well and septic system. The Technical Review Committee considered this back on January 2nd and recommended denial of the request, finding it to be inconsistent with the comprehensive land use plan and finding it to be unreasonable spot zoning. The Planning Board considered this request on January 20th. And after they saw that there were no members of the public who chose to address the board with regard to the request, they heard from Ms. Amy Ward, who addressed the board on behalf of the applicant in support of the request. And the planning board ultimately voted unanimously to recommend approval, subject to a list of suggested conditions. In the board's packet are motions to approve or deny the request. Each comes with a draft statement of plan consistency and reasonableness. I do want to call your attention to the development conditions, which are under the motion to approve. Number 1, the subject property would have to be developed in accordance with the approved site plan, which is on the screen right now for a Class B single-wide manufactured home. Number 2, and this was specifically added by the planning board, that the Class B single-wide manufactured home may remain on the subject property for a maximum period of up to 5 years from the date of the approval of this rezoning request, at which time it must be removed from the subject property. And I want to clarify that the reason that 5-year time period makes sense for the applicant is because the single-wide mobile home that is proposed for this location is to house individuals who will soon be building a permanent home on a separate piece of property. And so the applicant's need for a single-wide at this location is temporary. And for that reason, the planning board imposed this 5-year limitation with the consent of the applicant. Number 3, the Class B single-wide mobile home may be supplemented with customary residential accessory land uses. What that indicates is if they need to build a shed or a garage or something to that effect, they would not need to go through this full public hearing procedure in order to do anything that is customary to any other residential location throughout the county. Number 4 lists the permits that would be required for the setup of the mobile home. Number 5 points out that any significant deviation from the site plan could require additional review and reapproval. And then finally, the applicant will be required to consent in writing to all the attached development conditions in the event that the board votes to approve the rezoning this morning. With that, I will pause and take any questions on the staff report before we move into the public hearing on this request.
Okay. Question for Mr. Tyson.
I just got one question, Mr. Tyson, trying to get my bearings straight here. I'm looking at the intersection at Gold Rock. How far is this from that intersection?
Let me look that up during the public hearing, and I'll return with that
Thank you, sir.
information before you vote.
Any further questions for Mr. Tyson? Seeing none, call for a motion to go into open public hearing.
So move.
Been moved by Commissioner Davis and second by Commissioner Bellfield that we open the public hearing. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. We are now into our public hearing, and we welcome anyone wishing to speak on this subject.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Amy Ward. My husband, William Ward, and I own the property. I'm the applicant, basically. So I just wanted to answer any questions that you might have. And to answer your question, it's 9/10 of a mile.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. Well, I have one more question, Mr. Chairman, if that's agreeable.
Yeah.
They talked about you're going to keep it on there for some number of years, and then you're going to build a permanent structure.
Yes, sir.
Will that be on the same property?
No,
or
sir.
Where would it be located?
It's going to be on Browntown Road.
Okay, I'm familiar with
It is for my daughter and her fiance, her husband. They're getting married later this year. The trailer is located diagonally across from my house. If you bring up the map that had the purple watermarks on it, the purple is our property, all of it.
Okay.
We are the seventh generation to live on the property. To Mr. Davis's earlier comment about land ownership, we're not going anywhere. We're not selling. It's all agricultural land. It's ours. So I wanted my daughter to have a little space to be temporarily housed while she builds her forever home.
Thank you.
Yes. And the trailer will be removed once the time expires.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public
So
hearing?
moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins,
Second.
second by Commissioner Outlaw. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. We're back into our regular session. Okay? Mr. Tyson.
Mr. Chairman, the only thing I would add is just to verify Ms. Ward's statement that that property is approximately 5,000 feet away from Gold Rock, which, as she said, is about 9/10 of an acre. I mean, 9/10 of a mile, excuse me.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Well, I have, I see, like I said, a technical review. This is in my district. I see the technical review recommended denial, and the planning board approved 5 years. I am hesitant to approve a 5-year extension. That would be past my term. So the maximum that I would agree to is 3 years from the date of approval. And, yeah, considering this in that industrial zone, and that Gold Rock exit is going to go through the transformation of additional roundabout, I believe, in the next 2-3 years. That'll be my readiness.
So, Mr. Chairman, what we would need to do is ask because all conditions have to be consented to by the applicant, we would need to ask the applicant if they would consent to that change to development condition number 2 to replace the 5 years with the 3. And then based on their answer, the board would have to decide how to proceed.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, before we ask the applicant, shouldn't we take a vote? Is that a motion you're making, that it be?
I haven't made a motion yet. I made a comment to Mr. Tyson and the board about the condition number 2.
Okay.
Is this up for discussion? Mr. Chairman?
We would need a motion.
I haven't made a motion yet. I was just addressing condition number 2. Okay? All right. So, that's going to be my motion. My motion is that I move that the Nash County Board of Commissioners adopt the statement of plan consistency and reasonableness condition rezoning requests to rezone the specific property A1, C3 in order to permit the setup of Class B single-wide manufactured homes subject to the following development conditions, which I wish to change development condition number 2 to 3 years versus the 5 years.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
I have a
Wait,
question.
it's a motion on the floor.
Okay.
Did I get a second to the motion?
I'll be glad to second the motion, but I think we should hear from the applicant whether they agree to it before we complete this vote. Otherwise, according to what Mr. Tyson just said, that we need that permission from her to be able to change that condition.
I think we can do
Explain
that.
to us again.
I think we can do that after we have a second. I think my question to the attorney would be, is it appropriate for the board to discuss it and then ask the applicant, and then vote, or to ask the applicant first, or do you have an opinion on that?
I would prefer to just ask the applicant
Okay.
before the vote.
But we can do that after we have a second on the motion.
That will be fine, if we have a second, yes.
I would second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
All right, it's been properly seconded by Commissioner Davis. We can now ask the applicant.
All right. Ms. Ward, would you address the change from 5 years to 3 years?
Yes, we agree. That's fine.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, you heard the motion. Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we will now go to item number 10.
Item number 10 is also a conditional rezoning. This one is residential in nature. The subject property here is a 10.5 acre portion of a larger 28.2 acre tract of land. And so the area inside the yellow outline is what is proposed for rezoning. It is currently a part of this larger kind of square piece of property that is zoned RC commercial on both sides of Southern Nash High Road. As you can see, this property is owned by Rebecca Coleman, and it is just north of the intersection of West NC Highway 97 and Southern Nash High Road, which is known as the Stanhope Crossroads. The portion of this larger box-shaped tract here located on the left side of Southern Nash High Road was rezoned from A1 to RC back in 2017, and RC again being rural commercial. And the portion on the east side of the road was rezoned from A1 to RC back in 2022. None of this property has been commercially developed since it was rezoned to that RC rural commercial zoning district. The property owner now desires to use the northern 10.5 acres, or the area inside the yellow boundary, for residential development. But of course, the development of residences is not a permitted land use in this current RC rural commercial zoning district. Therefore, the property owner has submitted a conditional rezoning request today to rezone that property to A1CZ, Agricultural Conditional Zone, in order to allow the development of 6 proposed new residential lots directly along Southern Nash High Road. And you can see on the sketch plan, it will be 3 lots on either side of the road. This subdivision sketch plan was submitted by Sungate Design Group and serves as the required site plan for the conditional rezoning request. All of these lots meet or exceed the dimensional requirements of the A1 zoning district, meaning that they all have at least 40,000 square feet or a .92 acre minimum lot area and 200-foot minimum lot widths. And that wider lot width is required due to Southern Nash High Road having more than 1,000 average vehicle trips per day. These new residential lots will be served by private on-site wells and septic systems, as Nash County Public Utilities are not currently present at that location. And again, this is a conditional rezoning, meaning that reasonable site-specific development conditions may be attached to an approval with the consent of the applicant. If we review the future land use map, which is part of the comprehensive land use plan, you would see this request is consistent with that plan because the plan designates the subject property as a residential agricultural area. And while the plan does not specifically comment on the voluntary downzoning of a property from commercial to residential use, as that is not the typical direction that things go, the proposed A1 CZ zoning district would still be consistent with the plan for this area. When we return to the zoning map, this request may be considered reasonable in the public interest and not spot zoning, because the proposed A1 CZ zoning district would be very similar to the large existing and immediately adjacent A1 zoning district located to the north and east. So it's a little hard to see, but if you follow this line right here and this line right here, you'll see a lighter colored green. This is the A1 zoning district, which covered the majority of this property before. So this is really reverting it back to what it was prior to this commercial zoning, but with some additional conditions. The Technical Review Committee reviewed this request on January 29th and recommended approval. The Planning Board considered this request on February 16th. There were 3 members of the public that addressed the board in opposition to the request, stating concerns regarding increased traffic, traffic safety, water drainage, the lack of a berm or buffer proposed around the new lots, and concerns about the loss of farmland. Those 3 members of the public are listed in the staff report. Mr. Ned Coleman, son of the property owner, addressed the board on behalf of the applicant and in support of the request. The planning board voted unanimously to recommend approval of the request, subject to the development conditions that are found in the motion to approve. I want to focus on the first 2 development conditions that are found in that motion to approve, as they are the most important. Number 1, the subject property shall be developed in accordance with the approved sketch plan, meaning that it will be developed into 6 residential lots as shown on this plan. And number 2, the subject property shall be developed for residential use only, and the approved permitted land uses shall be limited to single-family stick-built detached dwellings, modular homes, Class A double-wide manufactured homes, and customary residential accessory uses and structures. Number 2 is a condition that was specifically added by the planning board. Their concern was the very broad list of uses that are permitted in the A1 zoning district, despite the fact that this property is immediately adjacent to a general A1 zoning district. They did ask to attach this condition to ensure that these lots will only be developed for residential use in the future. You have a motion to approve and a motion to deny, both with statements of plan consistency and reasonableness. And I'll pause there and take any questions on the staff report prior to the public hearing.
Any question? Commissioner Davis?
I don't recall, even though I was at the meeting, but did anything come up about the number of driveways, and does this meet DOT's requirement and our requirement as far as the frontage? It looks like it definitely would, so we should be okay with that.
This has been pre-reviewed by DOT and approved, meaning that each of these lots would be eligible for 1 residential driveway. They are wider than usual, and that's because the amount of traffic on Southern Nash High Road is in the over 1,000 vehicle trips per day category. But this has been pre-approved by NCDOT.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, call for a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Leggett and second by Commissioner Howard. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Motion carried. We are now in our public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this subject? Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this subject? Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Leggett,
Second.
second by Commissioner Howard. All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, I think the applicant, he heard you call for the public. but-
Oh, okay, all right.
Ned Coleman, 11272 Covered Bridge Road, Zebulon, North Carolina. I did have a phone call with Ms. Moore. She did send 2 representatives out there. They did look at the driveways and the site line and said they would be fine, so they have already approved that, basically with a site evaluation and location of where the driveways would be. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we're back to, a motion was made by Commissioner Leggett, and,
There was another woman that raised her hand.
oh, she,
Good afternoon. I have the land that's on the other side of him, Dickerson's Way, and I had 60-some acres, and I have covenants on my land. My concern is if the people that are building the houses can open up a business within their house. And that would devalue if they have like a junkyard or something like that beside it, that would devalue my land. If there is a covenant or if there's any plan to do those things and work out of their houses to have a business. And I don't know if I'm appropriate asking that now, but, you know, I just didn't know how to handle that, so. I'm sorry, my name is Brenda Dickerson.
all right.
I can answer that.
Okay, Ms. Tyson.
In the conditions, it specifies that these lots would be subject to customary residential accessory uses and structures. One of those accessory uses would be what we refer to as a home occupation, which is a small home-based business that may be run by anybody who owns a home in Nash County under the county's zoning rules. But there are strict limitations on that. For instance, there's no outdoor storage or signage allowed. There's a limitation, I believe, to 500 square feet of indoor space that can be used. The main idea is that someone who runs a home occupation, I should not know it if I'm driving by. I should not see anything that is appreciably different from any other residential home in the neighborhood. So the types of things that we see are like tax preparers, people who do home office work. So this does not rule out the home occupation, but it does rule out any other commercial land use that would not fall into the narrow boundaries of a home occupation, which every home occupant in Nash County, in our zoning jurisdiction, is entitled to operate.
Okay, all right.
Would you like for me to restate my motion?
Yes, I should have, my apologies, I should have asked you and Commissioner Howard to withdraw your motion so that we could continue our public session. Do y'all concur with that?
If there's no one else for public comment, on this item, I move to close the public hearing on this item.
All right.
Second.
We're moving properly moved by Commissioner Leggett and second by Commissioner Howard, that we close the public hearing session of this rezoning. Any discussion on it? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. We're now back into our open session. Ms. Tyson.
I have nothing to add.
Okay, any further discussion for Mr. Tyson? Okay, seeing none, I call on a motion to accept or deny the request.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adopt the statement of plan consistency and reasonableness and approve the rezoning request CZ 260202 Coleman subdivision.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Leggett
Second.
and second by Commissioner Howard that we approve the request. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will now move to item 11.
This is our final public hearing on a rezoning request. It is also conditional. The subject property is outlined in red on both the aerial photo and the zoning map before you on the screen. This is approximately 25 undeveloped acres of land. It consists of all or portions of 3 adjacent tracts of land. The primary portion there is owned by Winstead Properties NC LLC, and I believe Winstead Properties has a contract to purchase or an option to purchase the 2 adjacent pieces that are owned by Lawrence and Karen Brown and Jill M. Olson. As you can see on the map, this is located on the east side of West Old Spring Hope Road, and it's on the south side of the Tar River, and it is squarely in the A1 agricultural zoning district, as indicated by this light green color that uniformly covers the zoning map for this particular property. This property is beside the 5-lot Tar River Hills subdivision right here, developed in 2000 to the north. And then there is a 9-lot subdivision consisting of road front lots to the southwest here, which was developed as the Brenda Dickerson subdivision in 2020. Winstead Properties NC LLC, the prospective developer, has submitted this conditional rezoning request to rezone the property to RA30CZ, Single Family Residential Conditional Zone, specifically for the development of a 26-lot subdivision to be known as the Hollow at Hope Creek. Approval of this rezoning request would have 3 substantial impacts on the subject property. The first and most obvious would be an increase in permitted residential density by reducing the minimum required lot area from 40,000 square feet down to 30,000 square feet. There are also more than 60 different land uses that are permitted for development in this A1 zoning district that would no longer be permitted for development under the proposed RA30 district. Those include, but are not limited to, single-wide and double-wide manufactured homes, manufactured home parks, duplexes, event and conference venues, private campgrounds, outdoor shooting ranges, kennels, demolition debris landfills, solar farms, solid waste collection and disposal facilities, mining, explosives manufacturing, and sawmills. So all of those are among the 60 different land uses that are currently permitted for development in this A1 zone that would no longer be permitted for development on the subject property if the rezoning request were to be approved. And finally, the subject property can only be developed in accordance with the proposed subdivision sketch plan, which we see here. This has been submitted by CMP Professional Land Surveyors. It proposes the development of 3 new public road rights-of-way to serve the proposed 26 new residential lots. All of the proposed lots would be accessed from the new interior subdivision road, so none would have driveways directly along West Old Spring Hope Road. There are 2 proposed stub road connections to the immediately adjacent properties to the north here and to the southwest here. That would allow for potential future road interconnectivity should those properties be residentially developed in the future. There is an existing adjacent home located on this property back here that is addressed as 10423 West Old Spring Hope Road. That will continue to be accessed via a driveway cut that is proposed on the new public road beside Lot 8. And I should note that the owner of that home is the one that will be selling this section of the project to the developer. Each of these new lots would either meet or exceed the 30,000 square foot minimum lot area and 100-foot minimum lot width dimensional requirements of this proposed zoning district. Again, Nash County Public Utility Service is not currently available in this area, so they would rely on individual private on-site wells and septic systems. This is the excerpt from the Comprehensive Land Use Plan's future land use map. You can see that the property in question is entirely designated as residential agricultural area with that green color. The plan recommends a minimum allowable residential lot size of 30,000 square feet for this area. And of course, the proposed rezoning request also has a matching minimum residential lot size of 30,000 square feet. The plan also recommends that when we rezone for greater residential density, that we prohibit the development of manufactured homes, and the proposed zoning district does not permit the development of manufactured homes, so it is also consistent in that way. This request may be considered reasonable and in the public interest because it wouldn't be unreasonable spot zoning because the subject property already is and will continue to be zoned for residential use similar to the adjacent and surrounding properties. Approval of the request does permit smaller minimum lot areas and increased residential density, but there's also a trade-off in terms of land uses because the proposed zoning district is much more restrictive in terms of the types of land uses that can be developed there than the current A1 agricultural zoning district. The Technical Review Committee considered this request back on January 29th and recommended approval. The Planning Board considered this request on February 16th. Mr. Todd Bissett addressed the board with questions regarding the stub road connection, specifically to the northeast right here. Mr. Michael Moss with CMP Professional Land Surveyors addressed the board on behalf of the applicant and in support of the request. The Planning Board voted unanimously to recommend approval of the request, subject to the development conditions that are suggested in this report. I do want to make one notation that following the Planning Board's review of the request, the applicant has revised the sketch plan to add 2 additional residential lots, lots 10 and 11 in this area. So when the Planning Board considered it, it only had 24 lots. But after conducting some field work, which confirmed some more favorable soil conditions for conventional septic systems than the developer had initially anticipated, there are 2 additional lots shown around this cul-de-sac right here, 2 more than were shown at the Planning Board meeting. There is a suggested motion for approval and a suggested motion for denial. Under the motion for approval, I want to call your attention to the top 2 conditions there. Number 1, the subject property would have to be developed in accordance with this sketch plan that's on the screen for the Hollow at Hope Creek subdivision. And number 2, the subject property may be developed for the land uses permitted in the RA 30 single-family residential zoning district, which again is much more restrictive than the current A1 agricultural zoning. That concludes the staff report, and I'll be glad to take any questions that the board has before we move into the public hearing.
Any questions for Ms. Tice? Commissioner Howell.
How close is Spring Hope or the county's sewer and water to this location?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't recall it being within any sort of feasible distance that the applicant could have considered an extension.
Give me a second.
but Mr. Boone will look into that.
And those lots that's up there already, that's surrounding this, what size lots are they? Majority of them, I know
Yeah,
there's different sizes, but
So some of them are larger than they had to be, but I believe that these two at the front are approximately 30,000 square feet. They were, back prior to 2006, there was a 30,000 square foot minimum lot size requirement for the A1 zone. It was expanded to an acre and then later brought back down to 40,000. But the lots around the end of that cul-de-sac are significantly larger, but those front two lots are essentially the same size as what's being requested today.
okay, and how about the pre-existing home lots that's on the highway coming into the subdivision?
Those were just subdivided in 2020, so they would have to have 40,000 square feet. They would be 10,000 square foot larger. And those would be the ones to the southwest, directly along the road. They would be at 40,000 square feet larger than what we're proposing.
So I guess this development would be the only one in that area that would be requesting a 30,000 square foot lot size?
At this time, correct.
Any further questions for Mr. Tyson? Commissioner Davis?
Mr. Tyson, the idea of adding 2 lots after it leaves the planning board, which is somewhat significant, I think, but what is your guideline to what is too significant and what's okay?
Well, it's totally up to the board. So if the board wanted to refer this back to the planning board, that would certainly be an acceptable outcome. I don't think that the addition of these 2 lots substantially change the experience that the adjacent property owners would have. That adjacent property owner, instead of being immediately adjacent to 4 lots, will end up being immediately adjacent to 5 lots, and one of the newly created lots really doesn't touch another adjacent property. In my opinion, I don't really feel that the change in this particular case is substantial. But of course, it is ultimately up to the board. If you feel like you need the planning board to weigh in on it again, we can certainly accommodate that. But I don't think that the way that these lots have been added around this cul-de-sac really will have much substantial impact on how the adjacent property owners experience this development.
Do you have a map without the darkness on it that I could tell the lines a little bit better with you? And it's not necessary to see it, but if you have something I'd like to
I
see.
have a map that we can zoom in on the document.
That's the new layout.
This is the new layout.
Okay, that makes it clearer than what it was before. I agree with what you said.
As far as it not being a substantial change.
Yes, sir. But that's really just a judgmental call on staff.
On a case-by-case basis.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any further questions?
Mr. Boone adds that this site appears to be about 3.5 miles from the closest existing water main.
Okay, seeing no further question, now call on the motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Howard,
Second.
second by Commissioner Belfield. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We're now in the public session. Anyone wishing to speak on this matter? Hello.
Question pretty much was the same question as the other, that the adjacent property is mine, and I just want to make sure that there isn't any business or anything out of it. But he answered that earlier, so does that mean that that's for the whole county? Or is that just? It would be the same. Okay. Then I'm fine. I just wanted
Okay.
to understand that it was all the same.
All right. Madam Secretary, you have her name.
That's correct.
All right. Any further discussion from the public? Right, the developer or, right.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Michael Moss, 333 South White Street, Wake Forest. I'm the land surveyor on this project, here representing the developer. And I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have about the plan that's been submitted.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Todd Bissett, 3553 Peachtree Hills Road, Nash County. I see where Mr. Tyson, it says it doesn't mean that much, that they've added 2 more lots since the zoning board meeting. But to me, being the landowner right there, they've added 2 more lots next to my property. So I really didn't care for that. But as I stated at the zoning meeting, I think I'd rather it be R30 than B40, because I know it's going to be a stick-built house versus double wide or anything down there. So I think I'm trying to do the right thing. Y'all may think wrong. I'm not for all this development in Nash County. I'm sorry. I agree with some of the people that spoke earlier today. I think we need to slow down a little bit and take care of some other issues first. But hopefully myself and the property owners right there can get something worked out, and we can take care of some of these issues that I have. But anyway, thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay. Are we ready to close the public hearing? All right, I call for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Outlaw and second by Commissioner Wilkins, by Commissioner Leggett. Any further discussion on closing the public hearing? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Back in the open session, Mr. Tyson?
Nothing further to add.
No, seeing no further questions to Mr. Tyson, I'll now call for a motion to approve or disapprove the zoning request. Is there a motion to approve or
Mr. Chairman.
disapprove the zoning request?
I move that Nash County Board of Commissioners adopt the statement of plan of consistency and reasonableness below and approve the conditional rezoning request ZZ 260203 to rezone the specified property to RA 30 ZZ for the development of Hollow at Hope Creek subdivision, subject to development condition and suggestion.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Howell and second by Commissioner Leggett that we approve the condition. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I would like to add to that, I am voting to approve this, but I'm doing so hesitantly because of the fact that we're putting higher density in this area. Everything in surrounding area is either agriculture currently, or either it is R40, and we're increasing the density. And what I would be very concerned with is in the future, if we keep seeing R30 added there without any infrastructure, without any water, without any sewer, even though you can put wells in, we've already had people come before us and give us presentations where the groundwater is being depleted because of the numerous houses and high density of those houses being put in. So I would not be opposed in the future of doing an R30 as long as we can get some additional infrastructure in place, water and sewer, or at least water. And then also, we've got the situation and concern about when you put these high-density properties in, you got the concern with fire protection as well. and that's something we got to address in the county, but I do think it protects them, and that's the citizens around it now are currently wishing this, so I do support it, but I do have concerns for future.
Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will take a short break.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask, out of consideration for our deputies that are here in law enforcement, if everyone doesn't matter, can we get them out the way first?
Well,
or-
I have a couple of commissions that has asked for a break, and then we will not be long, 5 minutes or so, okay?
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
You check your speaker. Your speaker on?
It's on. Test. We're now on item number 12, and that's the Sheriff's Department.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Deputy Jack Thorpe with the Sheriff's Office, and I was the project manager for the last section of the BDA that we did. So to give you an idea what a bidirectional amplifier is, it's basically a repeater that allows radio communication inside a building, especially with concrete and steel, such as our jail. Stores like Walmart and different areas, they use them all the time to maintain communication for emergency services inside a building. And so basically what we've done so far, when we finished the second half or the new construction on the new section of the jail, a BDA was added in that section by a company called NC Sound. That section has been working for quite some time, and it's working well. And so this equipment will allow for consistent radio communication in the older section of the jail. And currently, the detention officers have to change channels as they go from the older section of jail to the new section. And while that seems simple, when there's an emergency inside the jail or something like that, their brain is absolutely not focused on changing channels while they're trying to run through the hallways to help save another coworker. So what we have right now is we have the new BDA in the new section, and we have a temporary repeater set up, retransmitter set up on the older half, and that transmitter is loaned to us by the Highway Patrol. We've been using that repeater for approximately 2 years. It was meant to be temporary, no longer than a year, but we're on year 2 with it now. Moving towards year 3 with it, hopefully not. And they want it back. They're requesting their equipment back because it's worth about $30,000. So what we're requesting is to continue what we've already started with the new section and continue to build the BDA into the older section of the jail as construction continues. Just radio signals will not pass through that concrete and steel without one. So the biggest communication issue we're having now is communications between the old section and the new section. It just does not happen. The radio signal gets dropped off very quickly. And again, like I said before, when these guys are running through the old section to the new section back and forth during possibly an assault, they're not thinking about changing the channels because they have to take the radio off the side, move the knob, put it back, adjust the volume, and then speak. And they just don't have time for that. Additionally, so I have 2 quotes here, and the first quote is for $49,984. That's to finish off the second half of the jail, or the older half, including the tunnel. There's an additional quote. I think it's for $11,000. Let's see here. Let me pull that up. $11,520.23. That additional quote is for the holding cells inside the courthouse. When we did the original testing in the courthouse, we didn't really have any signal problems inside courtrooms 1 and 2, the superior courtrooms, the hallways, or anything like that. But we do have signal issues in the holding cells that are right next to those courtrooms, because as soon as you open that door and close it, it's surrounded by steel as well. And so the signal is just gone. It goes away immediately. As soon as you open the door back up and walk into the courthouse, the signal comes right back. The signal that I'm speaking of is the Viper signal. So we use Highway Patrol's Viper system for our communications all around the state. And the jail is included in that now. NC Sound is the vendor for this system, and they have already built the first half. We recommend and ask that they continue to build into the second half for a number of reasons. One, we already have their pricing from them, but also it would be extremely difficult to have another vendor come in and work on the system that NC Sound already built. But also, if we had another vendor come in, the other issue comes in where if we have a second BDA, so let's say we have this first one here, and we're going to choose another vendor, and we're going to go with a second BDA. The FCC won't allow that, and the Viper unit at Highway Patrol won't allow the licensing of that, because what happens is called desensitization. So, right, if I have two BDAs side by side, and they have two donor antennas on the roof, when one transmit, it knocks out the receiver of the other, and vice versa. So it basically, by adding two BDAs, we just ruin communication for everything. And so those regulations and those kind of issues is what we're facing, and that's why we're asking to use NC Sound as the vendor, and for you all to approve the $49,000 and then the $11,520 to go ahead and finish this out. My biggest concern is that we've had, over the last year, year and a half, we've had several assaults on the corrections officers inside the jail. And there has been there was a specific assault that occurred where that person could not communicate, and that delayed assistance for that person, and that person was heavily assaulted. So it was a big problem for us that day. Any questions? I'd be glad to answer them, but that's our ask. We're really trying to finish that project up and increase the safety of our officers inside the older section.
All right, thanks for the presentation. Any questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Will?
do you mind to clarify what the specific?
Leggett? Mm-hmm.
Do you mind to clarify what the specific ask is? There's two proposals here with two different dates. The first proposal of the greater amount is dated, price is firm until October 15, 2025.
So we had a conversation with NC Sound, and those prices are still valid. If I need to, I'll go ahead and get a new quote from them with a new date. But the first price is basically the old section of the jail that's active right now, where all the officers in the cells are. The second part of that is the tunnel that goes from the jail to the courthouse, and then the holding cells as you come off the elevator on second, third floors.
But the ask is both items today, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, I'm asking for both.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Will?
Why is this just being asked for? That detention center has been there for a while. Why are we just hearing about them needing these radios? Seems to me they should have been had them.
I think so as well. We have been working on this for 3 years, or 2.5 years since I've been here. I retired from the Highway Patrol Viper section, actually, and came here. And initially, there was not going to be a BDA installed, but I think the reason for that is because the testing that the outside vendor did at that time was not accurate. It was actually completely inaccurate. It wasn't even close to being accurate. And so what we're trying to do now is, the big ask then was, let's get this new section done. We already have temporary communications in the old one, but we're not going to have anything in the new section. So our big focus and our big push at that time was for the new section. After that, I have worked with NC Sound for quite a while, trying to get information from them and trying to push this second half as well. The reason I haven't ever stood up here before is because basically we hadn't had the quotes yet, and so we have those now, and we've had them for a few months, and we're really trying to push that to get it done now. But I agree with you. I think that I would have loved to have done the whole thing all at once. And I also think that, and the construction company at the time had a lot to do with that as well. Wasn't it Daniels and Daniels, I think?
That's the general contractor, yes, sir.
Yeah, the old contractor had a lot to do with that as well. They were the ones that were really kind of responsible for completing the whole project, if I'm not mistaken. And so they only did that first half.
Yeah, I just, if our detention officers are going to be in danger at any point, they need to be given all the equipment they need. So, but I thank you for coming here today to ask for it.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Davis.
Actually, we honestly don't have a choice in this. It is a fairly new code requirement, maybe about 5 years old. And Commissioner, not radios they're looking for repeaters that make the radios work that we currently have. And the testing, about 30% of everything we build now, we have to put this system in. Project we just finished, because when it wasn't in the code, you didn't have to pass a certain test. Project we just finished recently up in Rocky Mount, a major addition to a warehouse. They checked the whole building when you get through now, and we had to spend significantly more than this, or the owner did, to put this system in. They won't tell you whether you got to have the system or not have to have the system until you complete the building itself, and then they come in and run the testing. So it's not a surprise to me at all that we're having to add this, but it's not something that the engineer or architect would have known up front, because the testing has to be done after the project's completed. And of course, he stated we done the new part. Now he's going back and catching up the old part to bring it to the current code.
Okay. Any further questions?
Go ahead, Mr. Belfield.
This amplifier, what distance will it have clear communications within the old and new jail?
So that's a really good question, because I'll tell you, it's very short. The distances are very small, and that's the reason why they're there. Now, when I say the distances are very small, the reason that we can have coverage across the entire building is because they put numerous antennas in different locations. So we don't just put one antenna in there and then hope for all the signal to go all over the jail, because that concrete and steel will stop it. So we actually add small antennas all over the place after the testing is done. It could be 10 antennas, it might be 30. But once the testing is done and everything else, they decide where those antennas go. And then it's kind of like a cellular system. As you move along, your radio connects to one antenna, and then you go through another door, and it hits another antenna, and another, and so forth. So the signal distances themselves are very short, but the coverage is still wide, because we have plenty of equipment that's being installed all over the jail to provide that blanket of coverage.
Will that make it complete? You won't have to come back and request again?
No, sir, we won't. Not unless we build something else in there.
Well, I was just saying, get it done, what need to be done now, and then we won't have to keep
Understood.
coming back with questions, well, we need this and need that.
It's my belief that the way we have it designed now and everything else, we will have that coverage completed.
Commissioner Outlaw? Well, if there are no other comments, I'm ready to make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Seeing none?
All right, I call for a
I
motion.
entertain a motion.
I call for a motion to approve funding for NC Sound to install BDA communication equipment in the older sections of the detention center and the tunnel that leads from the detention center to the courthouse. And if my calculations were correct, that's a total of $61,504.29. That was the two items together. That'd be my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Second.
All right, moving properly, second by Commissioner Howell. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, just like to add to this before we take a vote on it. If this wasn't a government building, this was a private enterprise outside, this is required. In other words, it has to be in there. We've already got one in there. And in defense of the sheriff's office, this is something that has been in the Public Safety Committee since it's been established and been discussed, because this has been a loan. We've been using one from the Highway Patrol for 2 years now. I just want to thank them graciously for their ability to be able to allow us to do that, to help protect the safety. We still have the void, as mentioned, in the tunnel or the hallways. So this will give us complete coverage in the jail and in the hallways outside. And like I said, if we were outside in private industry, Getz Code just recently got their CO, and they were complaining to me because they had to spend $80,000 for theirs. The Dollar General just got built was $30,000 for those. So these are required basically in all metal buildings now. So, and that's in the event of an emergency. What we need to realize here, we have our officers in here every day to utilize this. So this isn't an emergency, this is a daily operation requirement for these individuals to be able to communicate back and forth. And the time it takes to get from one side of the jail to the other is crucial that we can communicate as quick as possible. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Okay, we will now move to item 13. Ms. Tillery, good morning.
Good morning, good morning. In keeping with General Statute 105-350, the tax collector will be providing a monthly report showing the amount of taxes collected and efforts being made to collect taxes. This report is designed to keep the board current on activities in the tax collector's office. The report is for your information only and does not require approval. It is recommended that you accept the report, so it will be notated in the minutes.
Okay, we accept the report. Item number 14.
Tax refunds. In compliance with North Carolina General Statute 105-381, the tax collector will submit to the governing body for their approval a list of any tax refunds after legitimacy of the refunds has been established. There are no refunds for consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now move to item 15. Mr. Gillespie, Global Park Intergovernmental Agreement. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Nash County and the town of Nashville have been in an interlocal agreement for the past 6 years. That agreement is set to expire at the end of June 2026. Changes from the existing agreement were highlighted in your packet. These changes relate to the soon-to-be completed splash pad at Glover Park, as well as the picnic shelter. The proposed interlocal agreement would assign responsibility to the town of Nashville for the water utilities at the splash pad and for any maintenance needs for the new splash pad and shelter at Glover Park. Nash County will be responsible for the water, sewer, and electricity utilities at the new shelter, as well as the daily management of the restroom facilities. And we currently are responsible for the electricity and the water at the park. Once the splash pad has operated for the first full season, the additional data is available. Both the town and the county will get together and review the distribution of the responsibilities and determine whether any changes will need to be made to the agreement. The town of Nashville recently approved the new interlocal agreement for a 3-year term for fiscal years 27 through 29 on Wednesday, February 18th. Our staff recommendation is for the board to approve renewal of the interlocal agreement between the town of Nashville and Nash County for the operation and maintenance of Glover Park for the next 3 fiscal years. And I entertain any questions that the board may have.
Any question? Commissioner Outlaw?
Just one question, Thomas.
Yes, sir.
In the comments, it states that it's a 3-year term that is being approved, but above that, it states that after the splash pad is in operation, you'll review the distribution of responsibilities. Would that include possibly any changes in funding or anything like that?
I think Corey and I talked, and we was going to get together and discuss whether the town need to take on more responsibilities based on the new amenities that were built at the park. We didn't discuss any funding options.
Okay. All right. That's good. It sounds like you got a 3-year plan, but you're going to look at it after a year, and so it could possibly change, but if you're okay with it, I am.
All right. Any further discussion? Seeing none, is there a motion
Mr.
to
Chairman.
approve the agreement?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the renewal of the interlocal agreement between the town of Nashville and Nash County for the operation and management of Glover Park.
Second. Motion by Commissioner Leggett, second by Commissioner Davis. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 18. Oh, item number 16. 16. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. At your place, you will see the addition of a resolution that is to be tied to this agenda item. We received some minor edits to the actual interlocal agreement on late Friday afternoon. So instead of approving the actual agreement, we are asking for an approval of the resolution to then enter into the interlocal agreement. So the joint interlocal cooperation agreement dated 2026 is entered into by Nash County, the town of Nashville, the city of Rocky Mount, and Freedom Industries Incorporated. It facilitates the expansion of Freedom Industries facility on 4000 East Old Spring Hope Road by providing essential public utilities without requiring annexation into either municipality. The city of Rocky Mount agrees to provide public water service to the property without annexation. The town of Nashville agrees to extend its extending sewer line to serve the property also without annexation and at no additional infrastructure cost to the town. Nash County serves as the applicant for a grant with the North Carolina Department of Commerce's Industrial Development Fund utility account to support the sewer line expansion, a publicly owned town of Nashville asset. Freedom Industries, Inc. agrees to provide the required matching funds within 30 days of a written request from Nash County. This collaboration promotes economic growth and supporting existing businesses' expansion, which is expected to create new jobs, generate additional revenue, and increase the local tax base for Nash County residents. We are asking that you approve the resolution that was provided to you today that will allow the county to make the county attorney to make those minor edits we received late Friday. And I'm happy to read the resolution if you'd like for me to.
That's okay. Everybody received the resolution. Any further questions to Ms. Phelps? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve and sign the joint interlocal agreement.
Heard a motion by Commissioner Wilkins.
We're approving the resolution. Is that
Right.
correct? Is that the motion? All right, I second the motion,
All right,
stated by Ms. Phelps.
yes, with motion second by Commissioner Howard that we are approving the resolution only. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 17. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so this is tied to that same project. Nash County, the town of Nashville, and the city of Rocky Mount are working with an existing industry expansion, Project Patriot. Project Patriot's expansion requires access to both public water and sewer. The town of Nashville's sewer infrastructure expansion is required to provide the necessary sewer improvements to serve the project's expansion needs. Project Patriot will add 20 new full-time jobs and an estimated $6.5 million in capital investment as part of their expansion. We submitted a pre-application to Commerce on January 30th, and the Governor's Office announced on February 19th that the Rural Infrastructure Authority approved $236,453 in funding pending a full application submittal. The estimated budget for the project would be $315,271.10. This includes the requested IDF grant of $236,453. The remaining matching funds of $78,818.10 will be paid to the county by Project Patriot. So the recommended action, we are asking you to approve the attached resolution to include in the grant application. So this resolution would be a resolution for us to submit the full grant application. So same project, but separate resolution.
Okay. Any questions for,
Did I understand you to say 28,000?
So our portion of the match would be $78,818. So that'll be the county's portion of the match, but it'll be paid to the county by Project Patriot, so by the industry.
okay, any other questions? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
Move for
Application.
Second.
Was moved by Commissioner Outlaw, second by Commissioner Howell. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item 18.
Nash County was awarded $1 million from the Golden Leaf Foundation for the I-95 Industrial Center Infrastructure Expansion Project. The project includes widening Highway 97, constructing a stub road into the industrial park, and expanding water and sewer into the park. The total project estimate is $3,556,553. Golden Leaf requires evidence of sufficient funds prior to releasing funds. Nash County is also seeking funds from additional sources. So our recommendation is to ask you to approve the letter of sufficient evidence of local funds.
Okay. Any questions? Commissioner Outlaw?
Would these additional funds come from the county's fund balance, or where would it come from?
So if the county does not receive any funds from other sources, so we have submitted one application so far, but if nothing else is awarded, then yes, it would come from the county.
Any further questions? Seeing none, will anybody entertain a motion to accept the letter of sufficient evidence of local funds?
Move for approval.
Been moved by Commissioner Outlaw,
Second.
second by Commissioner Davis. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now move to item 19. Good morning.
Good morning. You should have in front of you change order number 1 for the Northern Nash Water System Improvements, Phase 1, Contract 1B project. The 1B project is our well project up in Northern Nash for both Wallop Mill and Shepherd's Way. Items included in this change order include installation of SCADA at both the Wallop Mill Road and Shepherd's Way well sites. SCADA is how we view what's going on at the site, provides us information about whether the well's running or off, things like that. Installation of baseboard heaters at the Shepherd's Way well site. Additional land clearing at the Wallop Mill Road well site. Installation of a soft start electrical panel at the Wallop Mill Road well site. And installation of a fire hydrant at the Wallop Mill Road well site. And then finally, installation of a concrete slab outside of the roll-up door at the Wallop Mill Road well site. Original contract with Sanford Contractors was for $2,503,764.07, and the cost associated with the items listed on this change order is $74,293.58. We do have some credits in the amount of $49,204.12, so the total increase for this change order will be $25,089.46 for a new contract amount of $2,528,853.53. And based on the above, staff has recommended that the commissioners approve the attached change order and authorize the county manager to execute. I can answer any questions if you have any.
All right, any questions for Mr. Phillips? Commissioner Davis?
Mr. Phillips, is there sufficient contingency funds in that budget or that bid to cover this?
Yes, we actually have some money left over in the construction line item that we'll use to increase the PO to cover this.
Thank you.
Any further question?
What's the projection of this well being online?
Probably the next month or so. I believe the last thing we were waiting on was we have the soft start panel installed, which was a requirement of Duke before they'd run power, and I think we've recently got the power in, so now we have to go back out and do a startup, and if everything goes well, then we should be able to proceed.
And what's the capacity?
This one is, do you recall?
Ballpark, I mean, you got to be exact.
That was 180.
180 gallons a minute.
180, okay.
Shepherd's Way is already in operation.
Yeah, Shepherd's Way is already in operation. We've been operating that one for, I guess, about 7 months, 7, 8 months.
Okay, any further question? Okay, is there a motion to approve the change order?
So moved.
Second.
That was Commissioner Howard. Okay, motion by Commissioner Howard and second by Commissioner Outlaw to approve the change.
I believe, sir.
Oh,
I believe Commissioner Davis
Okay.
seconded the motion.
Second by Commissioner Davis.
I'd be glad to, but he did. That's good.
All right. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All motion carried. Thank you. We will move to item 21. Good morning.
Good morning again. For the past few months, we have been going through some grant project ordinances and closing out the ones we could. And we have run across 2 others that we would like to ask for closeout today. The first one is a Hurricane Matthew buyout program grant project ordinance. This was back when Hurricane Matthew came through, FEMA awarded some funds. We were left, we spent $344,000 and were reimbursed all but $20,924 of those. At this time, all remaining funds from FEMA are deobligated. So for this project to be closed, an appropriation of fund balance in the amount of $20,924 will be needed and will be included on the budget amendment to be presented later. The action requested is to approve the attached grant project ordinance closeout.
Any question? Commissioner Davis?
Go ahead, sir.
I just need an answer. If we had done this in a more timely manner, I don't think we would have had to approve this fund balance appropriation. But if something different from that, I certainly would beg to be told that, but I just don't understand why. I think I know why, but it just took us way too long to get this project completed and closed out. But can anybody address that?
We tried several times with the state to get reimbursement for these projects, and with the turnover at the state, had us jumping through hoops on numerous occasions. So we never received the funding from the state because of that.
Well, from what I heard you say, it seemed like you had the funding, but then they
The reimbursement of the funding.
reimbursement of the funding, then they wouldn't approve that because they had taken the funds back. I think we could have done a better job of this particular project, and I've said that numerous times before, to get it done in a more timely manner, and I don't think we would have lost these funds. If we could improve on that effort moving forward, it would be appreciated. And I'll be glad to hear any contradiction to what I'm thinking.
No, I mean, I agree, but there were a lot of challenges. I believe we had 9 staff turnovers at the state. So every time that we submitted documentation, then there ended up being a new staff person and additional documentation was requested, and that happened 9 times. And we exhausted the time period for getting it back. But we will, as we do with other projects, we will definitely stay on top of that moving forward.
Mr. Boone, while I got it on my mind, I noticed our gate is down out there on one of these homes where we were trying to keep it becoming a trash pile. We might want to look at that, try to get that gate back up. I think Thomas is gone.
I'll reach back out to our Parks and Recreation Department and see if they can help us with that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Mr. Outlaw?
Just kind of piggybacking on what Commissioner Davis said, I was also wondering why the money was never reimbursed. You know, was it disallowed or an administrative error? It sounds like a lot of turnover, and it just went by the wayside because of that turnover. Was there an appeal process?
No.
There was no formal appeal process. So the state, because of a lack of personnel, because we got another one following this one, which is $63,000. So we're looking at over $83,000. We're approaching $100,000 here because the state was not able to do their work in a timely manner. So we end up bearing the brunt of that. Was this a compliance issue in terms of audit? Has this been noted in any audit at all? Because this has gone on since, I believe, 18, and I think we got the closure letter in April of 25. So has it ever been noted in an audit?
Not that I'm aware of.
Should it be?
It probably will this coming year.
But it has not been noted.
It has not.
Well, my same comments would apply to the next one. I realize we got to do what we got to do, but it looks like there would be some appeal process where we could go to the state and say, you didn't do your work, we did our work in a timely manner, but it is what it is, I guess. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, wait, I'm calling myself. I agree with Commissioner Outlaw that we need to not be blamed for the state's shortcoming, and we need to ask for a process of appeal. Commissioner Wilkins?
I just want to say, I agree with Commissioner Outlaw and Davis, and my question would be, we're saying the state, I don't know how to put this, our legislatures, were they notified about this? And it just seems to me it's not our fault, but the state fault, the legislative fault, not ours. So why are they coming after us for this and the next item, the 60-something thousand?
So, I mean, we have reached out to them numerous times, and the funding has been transferred, has been put into other funds. So there's no longer a pot of money available for them to access to give us these funds. We can certainly reach out to our legislators and let them know the difficulty that we went through for the years that we worked on this, and see if we can get any support that way.
Well, and my next question was, were they notified previously about this, that it was coming?
Not that I'm aware of.
And so you're saying that they were not aware that that money was being moved back from our pot?
Well, I mean, I'm sure that they are aware that the Hurricane Matthew funding came to a close, but I don't know that they were aware that we were still trying to get reimbursement through that program.
Well, I would ask that you notify them and see if there's something they can do, because if it wasn't the county's fault, the state needs to eat that.
Okay. Commissioner Howard?
So just, I guess, clarification, I'm a little confused to Commissioner Wilkins, just to confirm. So her question was, I guess, did we notify our legislators before the expiration date, the pot of money closed from the state, or are we going to notify them now and ask for it for help?
We'd have to notify them now, because I'm sure we didn't notify them ahead of time.
Okay, so we haven't notified them, okay.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
Thank you for that clarification. And I guess another thing would be, was this identified during the completion of our annual consolidated financial report, the development process? I mean, I guess what's our check and balances here? This has been, what, since 2018? How did we get to this stage and say, oops, it's closed and money's not there? Where's the check and balances at on this?
Well, it would have been an open project. Now that we're closing it out, it will be in the next audit, in the 2026 audit.
It's a multi-year project, so nothing flags that it's...
So when was the completion of the project?
I'm not sure when.
I'll have to check to see when the last payment was made. There were still funds open at the time. So the project had not, the funds had not been completely expended that we were granted. So that didn't red flag a completion of the project.
But I'm guessing, so was the outstanding funds the $20,000, or was it less than that?
The 20,000. It was more than that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion to approve or disapprove the grant project ordinance closeout?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Bellfield. Is there a second on the motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett. You heard the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Item
Mr. Chairman,
22.
did you skip over number 20?
Yes, sir, we did. We removed that at the beginning of the agenda
okay.
meeting.
Okay, I'm
All right.
okay. I was just wondering if we...
Okay, Ms. Stanton, item 22.
Okay, this is the State Acquisition Relocation Funds Buyout Program for it's the same project, the same Hurricane Matthew. And this was the state part for the acquisition of land or relocation benefits for those displaced. We are requesting that this grant project closeout be approved, and we will ask for fund balance allocation in the amount of $63,327 on the budget amendment to be presented later.
Any further question? Commissioner David?
To the manager, are we still going to pursue getting our legislators to look into getting the reimbursement, anything they can do, even if we approve these two things?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Any further discussion? Commissioner Outlaw?
Then would it be possible to have this as a discussion point at our legislative dinner?
Yeah.
See what their feedback is?
Yeah, absolutely. We can add it to the agenda.
Yeah.
All right. Commissioner David?
I would think we would want to look into the timeline on it, because I really think the county itself had a lot to do with the delay in it based on how it was been handled. So prior to getting told that by the General Assembly, our legislators, I'd like to see what our performance was and then bring it up if we so need to.
Okay,
This was a project I questioned quite a bit while it was going on and why it took so long.
right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Howell?
Just to add to Commissioner Davis's, I would like to see kind of to his point, a chronological timeline of kind of how this transpired. And I know this is prior to you taking office, and but it's odd to me that we're looking here at spending $83,000, and why don't we have things built into our documents from our legal department as far as cutoffs for us before the reimbursement time is cut off? I mean, unforeseen things come up, they can't get it done, then they don't get the funds, just like, it sounds like we didn't make the timeline, so we're not getting the funds, and they have to pay for it themselves, just like we're having to pay for it now. So, and I get we can't undo what's done. I mean, that's water under the bridge, but it seems like we could go back and put some things in play in the future, some check and balances in these type of programs ourselves to prevent us from having to foot the bill in the future.
And that's why these came up now, is because that's what we're doing. We're going back and looking at all the projects and seeing the timelines on them, so.
Right, but I mean, I guess before we approve these in the future, I guess is my point, before we sit up here and we're asked as commissioners to say, we need you to approve these 3 projects for this, then that verbiage needs to be in there so that the timeline for that project is cut off in enough time that we can meet reimbursement back for us. And if they don't hit that timeline, then they didn't get funded that project, just like we're not. Prior to us approving it, I guess, is for the future ones. That way, you can still do the check and balance, but there's timelines built into it to protect us.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the grant project ordinance closeout? Is there a motion?
So moved reluctantly.
Been moved by Commissioner Davis.
Second.
Second by
Reluctantly.
Howell, that we approve the grant project ordinance closeout. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carried. Okay, item 23.
This is the detention facility renovation and expansion project ordinance amendment. This was presented to you earlier for the BDA and installation of equipment for the detention center and tunnel to cover the courthouse. This is just the project ordinance amendment to include that $61,505 for the BDA system.
Okay. Any discussion? Commissioner Davis.
I'd just like to make sure, Mr. Boone, that the method by which we receive these proposals will all meet general statute as it relates to a preferred vendor on an item. If you would just get that verified, I'm perfectly fine to move forward.
Okay, we'll remind you that, Officer Thorpe requested that the board approve that being awarded to a sole source vendor.
Right.
Because of the existing system.
Right. As long as it meets the statute the way we did it, it's fine.
Right.
But it is a narrow little path you can do that under.
Any other discussion? Okay, is there a motion to approve the project ordinance amendment?
So moved.
Second. Been moved by Commissioner Wilkins, second by Commissioner Howell? No, who was that? Second by Commissioner, okay, Outlaw. All right, any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Item 24, budget amendment.
Okay. The first one is for the Hurricane Matthew, $20,924 we just discussed prior, coming from general fund. The second one is the same. It's the SARF program coming from general fund.
Do we really have to vote on it?
Mr. Chair, can we take all these together and vote on them collectively, or we're going to do them individually?
However you wish, y'all. We have covered them, except the seniors. Go on through.
Okay. The third one should read federal asset forfeiture for Department of Justice. This is coming from our federal asset forfeiture fund, going to travel and training expenditures for the Sheriff's Department. Number 4 and number 5 are senior services. These are additional funds received from the MIPA and the SHIP program, and they're just being transferred. The monies are going from the revenue to the expenditure accounts so that they can be spent in those fashions. Number 6, this was a grant project ordinance that was approved last meeting for the $100,000 match for the county for the Accessible Parks grant. Number 7, Veteran Services received a new grant for $20,000. This is to recognize that revenue and give the expenditure side to the Veteran Services. And number 8 is the $61,505 for the detention center renovation that we just, for the BDA program.
Okay. Thank you. We have 8 budget amendment items. Do we wish to approve all 8? If so, is there a motion?
Move for approval.
It's been moved by Commissioner Leggett. We approve all 8 budget amendments.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Howell. Any further discussion on the amendments? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 25, board appointments.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The following board appointments and vacancies are presented for the board's consideration. We will start with the Human Services Board. Please consider the appointment of Dr. Michaela Thorne to the Consolidated Health and Human Services Board. Dr. Thorne is eligible, willing, and recommended for appointment and would succeed her mother, Dr. Doris Thorne, as a designated dentist position. Her application is included in the board packet for your review, and if approved, her 4-year term will expire April 30th, 2030. Please also consider the appointment of Mary Strickland to the Consolidated Human Services Board. Ms. Strickland serves as a Chief Nursing Officer at North Carolina NC Health Nash and is eligible, willing, and recommended for appointment. Although she is a nurse by profession, she will fill the public member vacancy previously held by Jeanette Pittman. Her application is included in the board packet for your review, and if approved, her 4-year term will also expire April 30th, 2030. In addition to these, we have 4 discipline-specific vacancies for this board. There's a position open for an engineer, a veterinarian, a psychiatrist, and a psychologist. Members of the public are encouraged to submit names and contact information for qualified candidates for consideration.
Okay. So it's 2 positions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any discussions on the applicant? Is there a motion to approve?
Move for approval.
Moved by Commissioner Leggett.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Davis, that we accept the applicant. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Okay.
Thank you. So that's for Dr. Michaela Thorne and Mary Strickland?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you. Next, the Agriculture Advisory Board. There's currently a vacancy on the Agriculture Advisory Board. This board is essential in supporting and advocating for agricultural interests in Nash County. Filling vacancies with knowledgeable and engaged individuals will help this board continue its mission and effectively serve the community. Members of the public are encouraged to submit their names and contact information for consideration. And so there's a vacancy with that board. Next, I'll move to the Braswell Memorial Library Board of Trustees. There's currently a Nash County vacancy on the Braswell Memorial Library Board of Trustees due to the departure of Ms. Linda Hardy. The mission of the Braswell Memorial Library is to nurture lifelong reading and learning, provide access to information, and promote community enrichment and achievement. On Friday, Janice Evans, a clerk, emailed an application for Mr. Jamon Whitfield, and it's placed at your desk here this morning for consideration for the Braswell Memorial Library Board of Trustees. And so at the time of this agenda, I did not have an application, but this was submitted on Friday, and it's in front of you for your consideration.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Commissioner Wilk.
I would like to speak. I saw this when everyone else got it on Friday. I do know Mr. Whitfield. He's very active in the community and just does a great job on the school board and the mentee program, Meant to Be Men, for young kids that are in elementary school, junior high school. Great organization, and just a real well-rounded person, and I think he would do fantastic on the library board. So I would ask that we approve his application because of his involvement already in the community and his standing integrity in the community.
Okay, that's a motion.
Second.
Yes, a motion, sir.
Motion by Commissioner Wilkins that we approve the application of Mr. Whitfield.
Second.
Yeah. Second? Second by Commissioner Davis?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you so much. Finally, we have the Board of Adjustment. Please be advised that Mr. Oscar Bruce, regular member, has resigned from the Board of Adjustment due to mobility limitations following a medical procedure. The board will need to appoint a new alternate member, number 3, to fill the vacancy created by his resignation. Mr. Bruce resides in Commissioner Bellfield's District Number 2, which is currently the only district not represented on the Board of Adjustment. And so it would be helpful for Commissioner Bellfield to identify a prospective candidate in advance of the April meeting for the board's consideration.
Yeah, let me work on that.
Yes, sir.
I talked with him. He told me the reason he resigned, he was in an accident on his job. And right now, he just can't attend the meetings. And so he told me he preferred resigning rather than keep on missing the meetings.
Yes, sir.
So I will work on getting a replacement.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, item number 26, Commissioner's comment. Okay, no Commissioner's comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Howell?
Thank you, sir. Effective governance requires a commitment to listening, evaluating, and as we consider upcoming projects, initiatives, it is essential that we incorporate feedback from our residents, community leaders, partners, and subject matter experts. Public input provides valuable insight into how proposed actions will affect neighborhoods, businesses, essential services. By engaging in openly with this feedback, the county strengthens trust, improves transparency, and ensures decisions reflect the needs and priorities of the people we serve. Smart growth is essential to ensure that Nash County can continue providing the core public services that residents rely on every day: public safety, emergency response, quality schools, transportation infrastructure, water and sewer systems, public health, social services, and well-maintained parks and community facilities. As the county experiences new development pressures and shifting population patterns, it becomes increasingly important to guide growth in a way that protects the county's ability to deliver these services efficiently and sustainability. Smart growth offers a framework for aligning the land use, infrastructure investment, and service delivery so that the county can meet current needs while preparing responsibly for future demands. A strategic approach to growth strengthens economic development by creating conditions that attract and retain business. Employers look for communities with reliable infrastructure, efficient permitting process, strong schools, a stable long-term vision. By planning growth thoughtfully, the county can ensure that the commercial and industrial development occurs in areas where infrastructure capacity already exists or can be expanded cost-effectively. This reduces the burden on taxpayers while supporting job creation and private investment. Smart growth also plays a critical role in sustainability of government services. Unplanned or scattered development increases the cost of providing emergency services, utility, road maintenance, and public facilities. A coordinated growth strategy helps the county prioritize investments, avoid duplication, and ensures these services remain both highly quality and financially sustainable. As demands on public safety, transportation, and social services continue to evolve, a long-term plan becomes not just beneficial, but necessary. For these reasons, it's important to Nash County to adopt a comprehensive forward-looking strategic plan that entails land use, economic development, infrastructure, and physical policy. Such a plan should be data-driven, community-informed, and regularly updated to reflect the changing conditions. A long-term vision will help the county make consistent decisions, manage growth responsibly, and position itself for economic success over decades and beyond. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from Commissioner Davis?
I'll very quickly give the housing permit catch up for the month of February. We had $6 million approximately permits pooled was the value for commercial work. We had 47 stick-built homes permits pooled. We had 5 modular home permits pooled. The highest priced home was up in your area Mr. Chairman, on Watson Seed Farm Road, there's a $1,650,000 home being built there. And 47 homes are being built by 22 different builders in numerous districts throughout the county. Modular homes was 5, as I said. The highest priced one was $188,000, and they were pulled by 3 different builders. So it was still quite a impressive showing of what's going on in Nash County, even though it has slowed down quite a bit since the end of last year, but still got a lot going on. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Any other comments? Yeah.
I think you all should remind everyone to do your duty if you have not voted yet. Tomorrow is Election Day, and hope all of our citizens will participate in the right that we have been given in America. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Say that again.
Just reminded the people that tomorrow was Election Day.
Oh. Look, I guess I need a hearing aid.
Well, I probably need to talk a little louder and not mumble, according to my wife.
All right, thank you. I did attend the National Association of County Commissioners Legislative Conference last week, and, well, as usual, it's an informative conference. You get to engage with commissioners from across the country, and we are, well, like I said, this is a legislative, so you have still waiting on our budget that we'll be looking at for the next year and so, but it gets you a chance to look at other commission districts, how they are governed, and the issues that really affect all of us. Anybody else have any comments? All right.
I just want to make one comment, and that comment is communications. Communication is very important, and I see where we can improve all in the state, in the counties, in our communities, in our homes, and especially in our churches. So I have been saying that in these areas. I haven't said it here in the county yet, but that is an important thing. That is the key to success. And if you don't communicate, you can create a lot of confusion. So communication, we need to put that in our mind. Do I need, if I have something, some information, do I need to share it, or do I just hold it for myself? And it might not be good, just keep it to yourself. So let's think about communication all the time. I said, they got so now at my church, they call me, here come Mr. Communicator. Always referring to communication.
All right, thank you.
It makes for a better workplace, and it makes for better cooperation in anything. And communication in the world is getting to be a problem. You see what's happening now.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner Wells.
Just to piggyback off what Commissioner Belfield said, I just have to encourage that all of us do that, because there have been instances when emails have not been responded to until last minute, right before we're going to meet or something. And so, on us as commissioners, please, I'm just asking, please, for those of us who don't check emails often, to please check your emails often and respond. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from Commission? Seeing none, I will call on our county manager for her report.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Afternoon.
It is afternoon.
It is afternoon. I think Jonathan's going to, thank you, Jonathan. Okay. First, some staffing updates. I'm pleased to announce that Ms. Tia Fula was sworn in as the new Human Services Director for the Consolidated Human Services Board, or for our Consolidated Human Services on Thursday, February 19th. Ms. Fula has an excellent skill set to serve in this role with a background in both DSS and public health, and her ongoing involvement in animal control, veteran services, and the opioid settlement fund. Congratulations and thank you, Ms. Fula. We appreciate your service. The next item is for the Consolidated Health and Human Services Board. We have a new chair. Ms. Mary Jones will serve as the new chair, and Ms. Wanda Lamb was elected as the board's vice chair. And we congratulate these ladies and thank them for their service. And as Commissioner Davis just reminded us, the 2026 primary election is tomorrow, and registered voters should go to their designated precinct polling place. Polls will open at 6:30 a.m. and be open until 7:30 p.m. There is a traveling display for the America 250 from the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources in partnership with the Over Mountain Victory National Historic Trail at Braswell Memorial Public Library on the second floor. The display is titled March to Kings Mountain, the Revolution in the Carolina Backcountry, and tells the story of the Battle of Kings Mountain. Citizens are encouraged to visit the library and learn more about North Carolina's history. We have our new convenience center tags. As of February 18th, we would no longer accepting the orange tags. If you have not received your tag and you are a renter, we encourage you to reach out to the property owner. For more information, you can visit our Public Utilities Department on the second floor of the County Administration Building or call 462-2064. There is a community event, Yoga in the Arboretum. Our Cooperative Extension Services is hosting a certified yoga instructor to offer yoga in the Arboretum every Wednesday from March 18th to May 13th at 10 a.m. At the Ag Center, at the grounds at the Ag Center. The class is free, but participants must bring their own mat. To register, call 459-9810. Another community event, our Master Gardeners program is hosting their annual plant sale Saturday, April 25th at the Nash County Arboretum, located at 1006 Eastern Avenue, and that's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Participants will find perennials, shrubs, trees, natives, and vegetable plants and herbs will be available. There will be raffles. There will be live on site is the WPTF Weekend Gardener Show. The 4-H Exchange will be selling refreshments as a fundraiser. Another community event are tours and education at the Arboretum. The Arboretum is hosting tours and education sessions the second Friday of each month from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., starting March 13th and going through November 13th. Participants will learn about container creations, soils, saving seeds, and more. The sessions are free, but interested individuals should follow the QR code on the screen to pre-register. Another community event is our Nash County Community College is hosting a festival for pet lovers, Pet Fest, on Saturday, March 14th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Veterinary Medical Technology Program is hosting a day filled with animals, food, crafts, and more. There will be opportunities to adopt a pet. This is to help our local shelters and rescues come and show your support for animals and have a fun day with the whole family. And our Citizens Academy is returning. It offers residents, business owners, employees, and students in Nash County the opportunity to learn about the structure and function of county government through a free 8-week course. Participants will engage with department leaders and understand the operations of county government. The program includes behind-the-scenes tours of public safety featuring a visit to the 911 center and detention center. The academy begins Tuesday, April the 21st, and those interested in registering can find a link on the county's website. Our Parks and Recreation has had a successful spring registration. For the youth athletic programs, they're experiencing record-breaking numbers again. Youth flag football registrations increased by 30 from 257 participants in 2025 to 287 participants this spring. Youth soccer gained 102 participants, going from 618 participants last year to 720 this year. Youth baseball added 39 additional participants, and youth t-ball gained 14. In total, our 2025 participation of 1,358 was surpassed by 171, bringing our spring registration total to 1,529, a 12.6% increase in participation. We congratulate our Parks and Recreation staff on registering record numbers and best wishes for a wonderful spring season ahead. Detention Center Renovation and Expansion Project. The Division of Health Service Regulation was on site Wednesday, February the 25th, for the final inspection of Phase 1 Detention Facility Renovation and Expansion Project. Based on this inspection, Nash County has been approved to utilize the new intake and boarding area, as well as the inmate property storage room, the nurses station, and to reoccupy dorms 4 and 5. Reactivating dorms 4 and 5 will restore 36 beds, 18 in each dorm, and 2 isolation cells. The result in total is a total of 324 beds at the facility. Our One Box project was implemented. The One Box project is equipping 115 Nash County public school buses with life-saving naloxone and One Box overdose response kits. This initiative is a partnership with the Nash County Opioid Settlement Funding, Nash County Public Schools, and the CARE Coalition. It's not just about preparation, it's about prevention, awareness, and ensuring that life-saving tools are accessible when seconds matter most. We all hope that the One Box will never be needed. However, if it is, staff are trained and now have life-saving resources at their fingertips. Our NCACC district meeting, Executive Director Kevin Leonard sent an email to board chairs, clerks, and managers asking that a video clip be shared with the board from NCACC President Wallace Nelson. We are going to share that with you here. As you are aware, Nash County is a member of District Number 7, and Commissioner Wilkins is this year's president of District Number 7. And we will be meeting on March 11th, 2026 at Halifax Community College from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. And we can watch this short video, please.
Nelson, NCACC President and Paquemmons County Commissioner. I want to take a moment to speak directly to my fellow commissioners and county leaders about our upcoming NCACC district meetings in early March. Quite simply, your presence matters. We're at a critical moment for counties. The decisions being made at the federal and state levels are having real, immediate impacts on our local budgets, our services, and the people we serve. District meetings are more than routine gatherings. They are working sessions that shape how we move forward together. On the agenda, we will be discussing updates on our presidential initiative, key association priorities, and important legislative developments. I want to especially emphasize the legislative updates. We'll be talking about H.R. 1 and its practical implications for our county budgets, especially related to programs like SNAP and Medicaid. We will also dive into ongoing property tax reform discussions at the General Assembly, which could significantly affect how we fund essential county services. These meetings are a great opportunity to hear from each other and to build stronger relationships with fellow commissioners in your districts. So please, join us to share what's happening in your counties, what's working, what's challenging, and where you need support. When attendance is strong, our message is stronger. When we are aligned, our advocacy is more effective. And when we learn from one another, we are better equipped to serve our counties. I know schedules are always busy, but I encourage you to make attending your district meeting a priority. Finally, I would like to mark your calendars for March 27th for our first forum on our presidential initiative, Counties Care, Access to Health Care. We will be meeting in Raleigh to talk about the importance of health care and especially our rural hospitals. More information will follow, but I wanted to make sure you have March 27 on your calendars. So let's come together and lead together for our counties and for the people who depend on us every day. Thank you for all you do for supporting your association. I look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you. And we will, for the Raleigh meeting, we will be reaching out and seeing if there are several of you that want to attend that and do some carpooling if you're interested in that. He looks for me to do this, so I'm going to do this again.
I'm sorry?
Talking to Jonathan. Thank you. Okay, we have a grant announcement. We were notified that we've been awarded $5,000 for the Hazard Materials Emergency Preparedness Grant from the North Carolina Emergency Management to conduct an exercise with local first responders. We have an Industrial Development Fund grant award that you heard about earlier today. Nash County requested assistance to extend 1,200 linear feet of sewer infrastructure to benefit growth for not only existing businesses in an industrial corridor, but also 6 additional zoned industrial parcels in the area. The project is a collaboration between the Town of Nashville, City of Rocky Mount, and Nash County. The grant funds will be used for preliminary engineering, construction, and contingency. This investment will improve a critical infrastructure barrier, enable immediate private sector growth, support high-wage job creation, and strengthen Nash County's position as a competitive location for industry. Budget season is underway. We have budget meetings scheduled with all of our departments the week of March 9th and March 16th and 17th. Department heads and support staff are doing a good job of meeting budget deadlines, and we thank them for their hard work. Small commissioner budget work sessions will be scheduled. We're going to schedule those between March 25th and 27th. If you'll kind of take a look at that on your calendars, we will ask our clerk, Ms. Janice Evans, to be in touch with you to schedule those meetings moving forward. Congratulations to Melanie Manning. She couldn't be here with us today, but we want to recognize her. She is our accounting manager with our finance team. Ms. Manning received her North Carolina Finance Officer certification at the recent spring conference of the North Carolina Government Finance Officers Association. This is a big achievement, and we congratulate her. The legislative dinner, this is a reminder for our board that we will host our local legislators on Tuesday, March 24th at 6 p.m. at the Nashville Exchange. County offices will be closed Friday, April the 3rd, 2026, in observance of Good Friday. And I will take any questions that you may have.
What time did
Any questions for the
budget
manager?
meetings start?
Between the 25th and 27th,
I see up here on March 9th, 16, 17.
those are for staff. We will be meeting with all of our departments the week of March 9th and the
Okay, that's
16th and
not-
17th.
That's not for the commission.
That's not for the board. The board, we will be in contact with you to schedule something between the 25th and 27th. We will figure out what are the best times to have those meetings, and we'll be in touch with you about those.
All right, gotcha.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Commissioner Wilkins.
I just want to know, has the Arboretum sign been put up on 64 or?
No, not yet. And we should get notification. There was a request made that we have an opportunity to have a photo opportunity with the sign before it gets put out there. And that's in the process of being approved.
Okay, and the only other thing I have, I just want to commend the county manager. I love the report. I love getting the PowerPoint slide presentation, and I thank you. I think that was a good report. Well done.
Thank you. Before I leave the podium, I did want to just say I do share the board's concern about the Hurricane Matthew funds that did not get reimbursed to the county. Most of my career has been spent operating off of grant funding. I understand the importance of making sure that we get those reports in on time and get our funds back. And we will look into that, be able to provide the board with more information about the questions that you had, about the timeline that we were using, and if there was more that we could have done on our end, and we will share that information with you.
Commissioner Davis.
I'd just like, if you would, Madam Manager, for you and Tia to look into the two young ladies that were up here at public comment section and see if that would be a approved use for opioid funds, and make sure we get back with those two young ladies if possible. That we could use those funds possibly to help them a little bit.
We will look into it.
I do want to say that I shared, I stepped out after they gave their presentation. They did a great job, high school students, but I
They
shared
did.
my contact information with them and talked to them about where they can fit into that, and so we'll be following up.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Knew you'd be ahead of me. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That ends our agenda items for our open session today. I'm going to call for a closed session to discuss economic development, attorney-client privilege, personnel. Attorney, do we expect any action after our closed session?
There may be one matter that the board votes on after the session.
Okay. All right. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Commissioner Wilkins and second by Commissioner Howard that we go into closed session. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carried.